monkey.
Welcome to the Brutiful Game. As always, I am Blake here with Ferris.
Hola.
And Ron.
What's happening?
And today it is time for our 2018-2019 Premier League preview.
Oh my God, I'm so excited.
Almost back.
Our second Premier League preview. We are recording this on August 3rd in the evening, so we are a week away from the first matches.
Wiggity, what?
Oh my gosh.
So excited.
I have been in the best mood all day long waiting to get together and talk about Premier League. We've had a great World Cup that just kept us going, and now we get, boom, Premier League's here.
Oh, it's so great.
I'm so happy. I'm so
Good time to be
freaking
alive.
happy. Yeah, it is. Oh my God. Okay, so before we get to the soccer, it is the Brutiful Game. So first we got to get to some beer, and Ron has some listener beer for us today.
Ooh.
Yep, I have two, actually.
Over to you, Ron.
Two listener beers.
Did you say two?
I did.
It's
It's going to be one of those
Yeah, it
days.
is. I'm in such a good mood. I promise I only had one beer at this point.
So the first one is from a listener who essentially grew up in the backyard of this brewery. It is a repeat brewery, and
I'm so nervous right now.
you know what it is?
Oh my,
Oh no.
Yep.
you're such a jerk.
Yep. It's Butternut Brewing. I couldn't help it. I couldn't. It is the Snapperhead India Pale Ale from Butternut Brewing. We've had two others on the podcast.
Porkslap. Whee!
And the losing place bet beer of Moo Thunder.
An old we discovered too, like a
Snapperhead.
Snapperhead IPA.
God.
Look at this.
There you go.
Garish
Ferris.
yellow can
Look, this looks pitiful.
with a snapper fish on it. All malt IPA Farmhouse Ale.
And don't worry, I got a sixer,
Dude,
so we can have more.
My can looks like it's been run through the ringer here.
Is that any different from any other can
No.
we've gotten from them? The other thing I did not do is I did not
Check the date.
the expiration
Would you like me to
date.
give it to
Oh,
you?
God, yeah, go ahead, give it.
Packaged on September 11th, 2017.
Oh God.
It's a year old. Jackal.
Yes.
Jeez. Oh,
You
my
are
gosh.
welcome, fine
Do they
sirs.
just make
Such a
stuff
bastard.
and then let it ship out and not worry about making any more until they get rid of what they've got? And then, oh man.
Yep.
You always get something a year plus old from.
I don't think you can get anything fresh from them.
So this can is a garish yellow can with a big old green snapper with like an 80s style Sony Walkman and shades.
The most hideous can
so-
I've ever
It's
seen.
kind of an ugly can.
It's so gross. But this premier India Pale Ale has a perfect balance of fresh floral
Get out of
hops,
the can.
mild and malty sweetness, combining their two-row malted barley and American hops with some old school rock and roll. That's what's on there.
Ferris's face. Oh,
This Butternut Brewery from Garrettsville, New York, and in Upper New York State. There,
Jeff from upstate, no, from New York is going to enjoy this one.
the
Well,
best,
Jeff from New York can have this if he wants it. Come on down here and get it because I don't want it.
the best thing is on their website when it in the About Us section. It says we artfully craft the absolute best beers our fan can put in their mouths. After all, why allow your face to settle for anything else?
That's what she said?
Oh, it's so,
So your body can suffer through everything
Why?
else.
Like,
Hey,
so here's, you never know. Hey, look, I like Dogfish, but you know, that Scrapple one wasn't good. I didn't like it.
This isn't
Maybe-
far off. It's called
So-
Snapper.
And maybe this one,
Snapperhead.
maybe this is a good one.
So here's the thing, and I think we make a podcast vow
Oh, Lord.
on this one, right?
Oh,
We had Porkslap,
yep. Whee!
which was like lard
I
in
think the
beer
quote
in
was,
a can.
I like my barbecue salty and greasy, not my beer.
Yes, that was
the-
exactly
yes.
what, yeah.
Then we had Moo Thunder, which was
which was old.
yeah, very old and kind of how do you put this? Engine oil mixed with old vomit.
It's just
kind of how that
yeah.
tasted.
And then Ferris tried to make it better by making a beer float out of it, and it was not better.
And that looked like seafoam with chunks in it.
Like seafoam cement.
Yeah, it was gross. So
Wasn't too far off on the taste either.
So this is our third beer. If it's terrible, 3 strikes, Butternut's out. That's it.
I was willing to go first striking out. Like,
We got to give him a chance.
Oh, look, I'm ready to give it a chance.
It's going
Ferris is not. It's like
you didn't slosh through the other one like I did.
Hey, you did that to yourself.
you're going to do it to yourself again when Wayne Rooney doesn't score.
He has one.
Over
I need
3 goals
more
this season in MLS.
Trace Moss.
Then
Come on,
you-
Rooney.
You got to
I
drink
need
another
3
Moo
more,
Thunder.
baby. Don't let me drink it.
Moo Thunder.
And it was that if he scores 3, if he scores 4, you drink it, right?
No.
Yes, that was.
That was the exact
That is
bet.
exact bet.
All right, gentlemen, let's kick this one.
Oh man.
It's not gonna.
Didn't I literally kick this one?
It's only gonna get. It's only gonna get warmer, which means it's only gonna get worse.
You punt it over the house. Oh man. Oh, got in my eye.
A fish scale just hit me in the face.
God.
I'm not pouring it into my Manchester United glass. It's not happening.
Oh,
I'm gonna tell you that right now.
what does that smell like?
It smells good.
Does it?
Does it?
Farmhouse ale. It's kind of got the saison-y. I know it says IPA, but I smell that like saison-y kind of yeast that you would have on a farmhouse saison.
I smell Alpo.
Oh man. Well, it's got some good head retention as I pour this into my 2018 FIFA World Cup glass.
Oh, I'm gonna cover it with.
Still enjoying this glass. Look at that. And that makes for a good picture.
Yeah, it does.
That looks like a good beer.
Yeah, it looks like good beer until somebody's like, "What's in that?" And you're like,
Snapperhead.
Snapperhead.
So wait a minute. We had Moo Thunder and Porkslap. Whee! What's Snapperhead? Fish don't really make noise.
I don't know. I got nothing.
I got
on that
nothing.
one.
Yeah, I got
Well,
nothing.
those were all born out of how they taste, though. So we'll see.
Yeah, man. Look at that foam sitting on top of the glass like sea foam.
literally sitting on the glass. Like, oh my god.
It's do you know what I'm saying? Like that yeast on it has
Yeah.
got an odd for an IP. It says IPA, right?
Yeah,
But it does say farmhouse,
you're right.
and it definitely has the light yellow of a saison with a farmhouse yeast smell.
Yep. 6.1 ABV. So it's not outrageously high.
All right, gentlemen, here we go.
Good luck.
Cheers.
Bottoms up.
I'm nervous.
Up to the lips and over the hump.
Oh, God.
This thing smells like it came from the rump.
Oh, Blake. Oh, here we go. I'm scared.
God bless America.
Oh, my God.
Oh, that's the piss. Oh my god. That's, oh my god.
It's fish pee.
Oh my god. That's disgusting. Oh my god.
That's awful.
That's terrible.
I'm not even trying to be funny for the sake of the show.
no.
I was really ready to roll with this. I was kind of excited about the saison smell. What the? You got a Twizzler?
I got a Sour Punch Troll in my backpack, so I'm going for it at this point.
Sour punch.
Oh, my God. I didn't think that the beers could get worse. Oh.
It's like tart.
Oh,
Is that what you call it?
Yeah, I went for a second sip. I gotta get to the bottom of this, man. I gotta figure out what's up.
It's super bitter.
It's not it. Okay. I'm not even kidding. I'm not trying to crack jokes. I'm trying to be honest. Listen, I'm gonna give a beer review profile on this.
Good luck.
I give a smell. The nose is a bit estery. There's kind of got a hint of like a yeast that you'd have in a farmhouse, but terrible mouthfeel. Whew. And when you drink it, it doesn't taste like any discernible beer variety produced in the world.
Yeah, it's got a very
Whale pissy type taste to it.
I was gonna say tangy.
Yes, but that's what I mean. Like the tangy of like the estery kind of yeast, but the flavor. I've had bad IPAs. This is called an IPA. This doesn't. I don't smell hops. This isn't like an IPA.
No, it's not like an IPA at all. There's no discernible hop in it. I don't
smell like.
Guys, after all, why would you allow your face to settle for anything less? But we got to finish it.
Why would you let
the
your
rule.
this is from our listener, Amanda.
Yeah.
And Scott, thought you liked this.
I think she's clearly doing this on purpose.
Okay, Moo Thunder was awful, but I could put a gulp in my mouth. I am sipping this like it's a strong liquor where you're only getting a little bit on your tongue at a time. There's bitter. Okay, there is bitter on the end of this. Like there's bitter from a hop.
Yeah.
But like an IPA, you should have floral hop notes. We just had an American Pale Ale at the restaurant we were just at.
Right.
And you got those floral notes. This is
not at all.
This is weak in the sense of it says, "Oh, wait, these people." Hold on a second.
Thank you.
Because this thing says,
Thank you.
all malt.
Yeah.
And my ass.
Well, we are 3 for
Well, I was
3.
the only one. Yeah.
Oh gosh.
There's no malt. Malt should be okay. We had an American Pale Ale, which I thought was like light on the malts at the restaurant we were just at, and that should have more malts. It was good, but it still was light. This says all malts. Where?
Where's the Colt 45?
This isn't sweet.
Nothing.
This doesn't have like a.
Nope. And the other thing is
What is this supposed to be? I'm going on Rate Beer right now.
what is the hop profile? Because there's very little hop flavor to any of it for an IPA / farmhouse ale. So what do they do? Put piss in a bucket and then mix it?
Do not take a big slide.
Here we go. I'm going to
I
Rate.
thought I was just gonna down it real quick, and I got a big gulp, and I'm
Or hey, by the way, the Snapperhead Imperial IPA. It's got a different name. And it would be more appropriate. But if we had gotten the the Imperial IPA,
Right.
Snapperhead from Butternut, it's called it's called the Rocky Knob Snapperhead Imperial IPA. Rocky Knob? Yeah. That's what it tastes like. Like a rocky. This is ridiculous. Okay. So on Rate Beer, this is the one we use. Yeah, this is the good one. Rate Beer.
Yeah.
This rates a 2.71 out of 5.
That's being generous.
Its overall score
I
is
agree.
16, 2 for its style.
That's 2 out of 10 for its style, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Our India Pale Ale packs typical IPA. Here, they took this from the. And forgive me if I'm reading a repeat of yours.
Right.
But is it our India Pale Ale packs typical IPA balls? Is that what yours said?
No.
So that's what this says. Our India Pale Ale packs typical IPA balls, but strikes a better balance between dryness and drinkability.
Sure.
Okay, it's every bit as rich, but a little less bitter than other American interpretations of the breed. And here's why. We are smarter, better-looking brewmasters. Okay. It also doesn't hurt that we use two-row barley with no goofy processing.
Maybe you should use some goofy processing.
And then we employ a 2-week dry hop process, which is crazy because I barely taste hops. A 2-week dry hop process before we put it in the can with love for you, our beer-loving friends. There is no fish or fish flavor in Snapperhead. We chose this cartoon figure to represent the brand in a somewhat random marketing process we call nonsensical ideation. No, I think that might sum up your problem.
I think if you have to tell people that there's no fish flavor in your beer, you're doing something wrong.
Because you're going, oh, we just pick random stuff called, in a marketing process we call nonsensical ideation. What? I would kick if I was a CEO, I'd kick somebody right out.
Right.
Fire that marketing guy. What did you just say?
You're
to me?
fired, and I'm kicking you in the nuts on your way out.
I would like to read some of the the reviews. This one pours a cloudy honey. This is user reviews of Rate Beer. This one pours a cloudy honey orange colored body with a nice lasting and lacing white head on the top. Smells kind of old and a little earthy, like an old Pilsner, kind of grainy. Not very fresh or inviting. Definitely not an IPA. Tastes much the same, but in addition, it has the unpleasant sourness. Mild, oily in the mouth, and it's just below average on the carbonation.
Mildly oily in the mouth.
Nah, I won't even finish this one. Not very good. 2.0 he rates it. I don't want to have his 1.0.
Ugh.
0.000000001.
See, this one guy says, I had it from the can. It was piney hops and caramel malt.
What the hell were you tasting?
This
Where?
This doesn't taste anything. It says there was more caramel and less citrus than usual.
Yeah, I bet.
But I mean, he gives it a 3.
So,
Man, I love
all right,
this.
so-
Here's this guy.
Hey, hold
These
on.
guys talk a lot of smack in the description for having crap beer. Weak hoppy beer, even if it was a pale. Biscuit and dirt. Weak hops. Watery. Even so, better than pork slap. and that is accurate.
Oh God, this is so bad.
Would I drink this? I think I'd take the Moo Thunder. This might look. We don't have the second round of this because you brought 2 beers, right?
I did bring another
Please
beer.
tell me it's not from Butternut
He's got
Brewing.
a 6-pack of these. We might have a new bad bet beer.
I don't think I'm even dumb enough to make those bets.
Well, that's gonna make you really think.
Oh my God.
Man, I can't. This is like a train wreck. I can't stop looking at these reviews. I just love there's a lot of consensus about for all the stuff in their marketing that makes them sound so cool. Maybe make a better beer. Whoa, man.
Oh God. Man, it's already repeating on me.
Oh,
I just want to finish this one so fast. And
well, I'm going to think a little zen on this and say we're so excited about the Premier League that Ron wanted to bring some balance into our life. And
F you, Ron.
Hey, why is this my fault? This is a listener sent in beer.
our first listener sent in beer was a grand success.
Yeah.
That's all I'm going to say about this one.
Yes.
This is what? You can't tell me you sit around and drink this for like, man, you know what would be great? A little.
Let me piss in a can and then drink it.
A little fizzy fish pee. That's what would be good.
Oh God,
I'm
is
gonna,
terrible.
Whoa, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try
and finish it. I'm gonna try.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but I don't have to like it.
I didn't say you had to like it.
I love like, yeah, World Cup was great. Premier League, woo. Oh, son of a.
Defeated right now.
Guys, this has been the Brutal Game. Thanks for listening.
Talk to you next week.
This pod has been destroyed by Butternut Brewing. We gave it 3 beers.
We did 3 separate beers on different occasions.
3 too many.
That guy's right, though. That review, it's weak.
Yeah.
Like, there's no kind of oily. What? This, you know what this tastes like? I don't know what this tastes. This is just, I can't.
Another review says 12-ounce can poured in a pint glass. The can says Farmhouse Ale. What the f***? I spit it all over my TV. And that's it.
And the TV just like melted away, just burned it away.
Dissolved.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Is that still rate beer? These are like bad Amazon reviews. We do recommend look these up on Rate Beer.
Oh my
For
God.
the Snapperhead and what about the Rocky Knob Snapperhead, the double? How would you even make this an Imperial IPA? I'm angry. I'm angry at these people.
I'm just defeated.
No, I'm fired up. I'm angry at these people.
They're continuing to brew beer and saying how cool it is. Another review, unsure how they call this an IPA. Smells like Schlitz. Tastes like
That's a good one.
I just made the comment on the previous episode. I didn't have to go back and bleep out a lot because we were really happy. It was like a happy, yay, World Cup was fun.
Yeah,
This
so
episode,
Ron brought the beer. Courtesy of Amanda. God almighty.
I'll fill up this piece of paper really quick. Man.
this is
Well, here,
terrible.
hey, look, just know by listening to the Brutal Game, you've saved yourself $8.99 on a 6-pack
Yep,
or a
of-
pint.
of beer.
Ooh, no butternut. No.
Had it in a can, poured it into a pint glass. Sorry, I lost my place. Poured into a pint glass, took a sniff, poured it out.
He's not wrong.
Nope.
You smell it. There's nothing. IPA for farm. This is all a disaster.
Oh, this other guy said that him and his friends have a Krampus Christmas. Like, so it's White Elephant with all bad gifts, and he got this in the Krampus. That's brilliant.
But you know what's great about
serious,
this?
Clark?
Reading these reviews and hearing that stuff, I don't feel like a jerk anymore.
Yeah, we're not the only ones.
Oh, I don't feel. No, I don't. Hey, brewing's a privilege, not a right. Get it right. This,
Damn.
this is
No
Amen,
wonder their
brother.
website was down for like a year and a half, and they're, oh God,
Just still on like dial up with them.
it's terrible.
Oh,
I promise you, the next beer is going to be better.
oh my! I just want to drink this so fast. Do you have a 6-pack of the next beer?
No, it's one big bottle. But I do have another one of these for you if you want.
No, thank you.
Well, if we get desperate, I've got something in the
I'd
fridge.
rather take a bath in a tub of scissors than drink this.
I've never heard that. That's amazing. Tub of scissors. It's gonna hold you guys up the bleep paper.
Holy
At this point.
that's like 14 or 15.
You're gonna be busy tomorrow while you watch Afton.
Yeah. Oh, jeez, man. Oh, yeah. I'm gonna be busy.
So
Yeah. You know, when a little one takes her first nap, I hope she naps for 2 hours so I can edit all this down.
Ugh.
Well, let's get from man. Ooh,
Resorted to making weird noises. I don't know what else to do.
this beer tastes of relegation.
Ugh.
Oh, that's our first relegated beer company. There we
Yeah,
go.
we've
Yeah.
got one.
Yeah.
Fine. It only took us almost 100
Sunderland
episodes.
beers.
Sunderland of beers.
I'm gonna get so much hate mail
It's
now.
the Aston Villa of beers.
Well, they were actually in the championship.
Sunderland did get knocked
They
down
went
again.
yeah.
Yeah.
2 years in a row.
I feel like we should let this warm up to see what it's going to be like. When it's
I'm
warm.
drinking
It's going to warm up because I can't drink it fast. It hits the back of the tongue with the weirdest bitterness. Or it's like an unearned bitterness. Like you have a good hop that you flavor and then you earn that bit of bitter. This is just
So you know what this strikes me of? You know when you're walking through a city and you see a dumpster and you see the trash juice leaking out of it and you're like, what a putrid smell. This tastes like that smells. Ugh.
well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Our first I think our first worst beer review.
Yeah.
We didn't like Porkslap and we didn't like Moo Thunder. This wins.
Also, we're on a tirade because this is our third one
Yeah,
and your
they have-
brewery blows.
Yeah, they have
They the bed.
No, they the beer. Ugh.
Oh.
Ugh. I think we should talk about soccer.
Yeah.
We'll stop
Oh.
swearing.
Oh, for the love of God, let's go into happiness.
Hey, the Premier League season's coming back.
Guys, in a week.
Oh, I'm so excited.
In a week, this beer will still be sitting in my fridge as I don't touch it and get something better. But and we begin our Premier League season.
That means you just have to have a party and be like,
Oh,
here,
yeah.
guys.
There you go, man.
Hey, try this awesome Snapperhead beer
Yeah. It tastes like a rocky knob.
from Butternut. That was our first mistake. Anything from Butternut Brewing is not set up for success. There.
Nope.
Do I have to throw away this FIFA glass now when this is done?
I don't know, but it might dissolve
I
over
think you have to
time.
burn it first.
Got to do like a ritual cleansing
Yeah.
ceremony.
That's why I didn't put it in my Manchester United glass.
Well, I just kind of want to see what it
touching that.
looked like. I was trying to give them a
Good for
chance
you.
to look at the color of their beer. Hope you get some good pictures of this, Ron, because it's
saw
never
Seattle.
happening
I
again.
took 2, and that was the end of it.
Yeah, your camera broke. All right, well, let's move on to some football. My God, that was
footy.
rough. So it's the 2018-2019 Premier League season kicking off in a week. So we're going to talk about we're just kind of run through the teams, take a look at the year coming up, kind of what we think about it. And we'll start basically as the teams ended the season with first place on down and saving the relegated spots from last year. Instead of talking about those teams, we will go into a little bit to learn something about the newly promoted teams that will be joining us this year.
First up, Manchester City finishing on 100 points on a record-setting season last season for the old Blues there. Manager Pep Guardiola. Their notable transfers in Riyad Mahrez finally moves on from Leicester City. Claudio Gomez from PSG and Felipe Sandler from anybody know how to pronounce that one?
PEC Zwolle.
There you
Did
go.
you like how I said that like I knew it? I just made that
No,
up.
that- you sounded fantastic.
maybe it's right. I'm not sure.
Hell of a lot better than I can do. Interesting though, Riyad Mahrez actually is their new their new
You see what the beer's done to you?
I can't even think. I know soccer, I promise. It is their new record club transfer. I can't. Somebody else.
It's either. I didn't realize that. What did he come in at price wise?
60 million fee, but he was the new record fee for the club.
There you go.
Good job.
I have to take another sip to try to finish this.
gird your loins for yet another
I mean, if you
sip.
think about it, from everybody that has come in through Man City over the past several years, the Kevin De Bruyne's, the Sergio Aguero's, the David De Silva's, Leroy Sané's, yada, 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 so on and so on. Riyad Mahrez, very good player, PFA Player of the Year 2 years ago, had a very good season last year, not quite up to that PFA player status, but he's their club record fee. It's interesting to me.
Well, to me, a signing like Mahrez just says they want the Champions League.
Yeah.
Yes.
They're building. They already had a stacked roster.
That's depth. Because I don't know where he fits into this lineup that played last year.
No, but if you're pushing for your Champions League, he wants that. Yeah.
Yeah.
You only get so many shots of that, and this is, to me, that's putting together that team.
Well, I think they need one more biggest shining.
Shining? Biggest shining?
Red Rum. This beer's done.
So moving on, we have some notable outs. Yaya Toure released.
This beer's going to give me a notable out.
Yeah.
It's really going to open up the sluices.
Oh, man.
Open up something.
Angus Gunn goes on to Southampton. Jack Harrison goes out to Leeds on loan. They're on. They're in what tournament is going on here in the U.S.?
Who?
Oh, the International Cup?
International. Yeah.
And the Pep Guardiola interview after that match, which they won 2-0.
Who?
With
Man City.
Right. Well, against who though?
I forget.
I don't know. Bayern Munich.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But the interview afterwards with Pep Guardiola was a ton of fun. He's such a nice, in the interviews anyway.
Yes. And that, I think, plays into other conversations that we're going to have later.
Oh, yes. Yes. In fact, Pep Guardiola, when asked, what do you think about the fan base in the U.S., he said he loves it that the U.S. are so passionate and they come out to all these games, and he's happy that they spent money, even though all the World Cup players aren't necessarily back, and so you don't know who you're going to see play. But he was just very impressed about the American attendance, which is exactly opposite of another certain famous manager that we'll get to in a little bit.
Town of Manchester.
Well, I think the difference in those is Pep also talked about his young players that he brought along.
Very excited about his young
Very excited
players.
about them. And the chance that he gets to spend with them. Not that any of them are really going to see the light of day once the Premier League and Champions League starts, but he was very complimentary of them, excited for them, excited to see young talent that he can work with and kind of help mold and build for hopefully years to come.
Yep. So here's the question for the season. Can Manchester City repeat for the title? Blake?
They can. They have the talent to do it. I think the question is, for me, that's not the question. Can they? Yes, they've got the ability, the talent. It's that thing whether the team, human nature, you've got that drive to want to do it again. Do you get a little complacent? That's happened at like Chelsea before. We've had a championship. Will they do that? Will they not? They certainly got a very stacked club. Will it be? My personal guess is a Champions League, a really strong push to the Champions League has Manchester City not getting as many points as last year. It doesn't mean they don't win the Premier League again, because they did win it by 19 points. So even if they only have 90 points, they would have won last year. I could see them being closer, but easily repeating, but not doing as well because they do a Champions League push.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I think they're going to go for the Champions League, something fierce, but I think they're going to end up finishing probably second or third, not first this year.
Yeah.
They are the first team to, in the Premier League era, score 100 points, which is a huge task. But I think that was the main.
But that's what you're saying.
Let's get over the line there. Let's win this. And I think like you said it just a second ago, it's Champions League this year. That's what they bombed out of it fairly early for them. Yes, they made the knockout stages, but they bombed out of it fairly early. That's what they're really going to push for. And I think that run, going to your point, Blake, is going to slightly pull them away from the top. And as pretty much anybody that watches sports knows, and pretty much in any sport, it's very tough to be on top back-to-back years or for a prolonged period of time.
Very hard.
Everybody comes at you when you're on top, and to defend off the other teams in this league, and you're being pulled to another tournament that you're probably more focused on in the Champions League, which I think they will be. Can they go into your point? Yes, they can. The talent's there.
Yeah.
Will they? I'm not so sure they will. They'll be the odds-on favorite going into it.
I still think it'll be
know.
close, though. Like, even if they come out like a second, I still think that it's because it's a race.
They'll be up there. I think it's going to be a three-headed.
I fully predict them to again be a club that I enjoy watching week to week because they got a great team.
Yeah, they're still going to be very dynamic, and they'll go for it all the way to the end. But I don't think they're going to come out on top.
Does that bring us to Team 2? Club 2?
Team 2.
19 points less. God, that's just crazy. Their achievement in that respect.
Yeah, sorry.
No, go ahead.
But Manchester United is in second place at 19 points.
19 points
behind.
19 points behind
Man City.
But what's interesting is that Manchester United actually had a really good year.
The highest point they've had in a long time. In another year, this could have been a championship run.
Yep.
But it was not. Manager, the always fun, Jose Mourinho.
Jose.
Notable ends. I'm always going to say that guy's wrong. It's
Diego Dalot.
Dalot or
Diego Dalot.
Diego Dalot. Fred Shakhtar Donetsk. And Lee Grant. It's such a English name at the end of that. And then your notable outs, Michael Carrick, retired, Sam Johnstone to West Brom, and Daley Blind to Ajax.
Yep, back to Ajax. And Michael Carrick retired, but a part of Jose's coaching staff, which is very cool.
Yeah.
I got a little story to tell, though.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Ferris had like
a whirlwind time.
A whirlwind. So this past Monday, doing whatever every 34-year-old respectable man does, brushing his teeth in his underwear, sitting there. Doing my thing.
Story time with
and
Ferris.
I get a text message from a friend of mine and somebody that I've known for a while and have worked with for a while, Mr. Mike Rome. It says, "Hey, you going to the game in Miami tomorrow?" And no, I'm
Which
not.
would be the game would be
the game. Oh, I'm sorry. The International Champions Cup, that is the big preseason tournament here in the States. It was down in Miami, Manchester United versus Real Madrid at Hard Rock Stadium down there. I said, "No, I'm not." He goes, "Do you want tickets?" And I was like, "Well, how much?" That's what you do when somebody asks you tickets. How much you want? He goes, "Free." Let me see if I can get off from work real quick. Hold on. So, email some people. I'm able to get off. People got me covered at work. Thank you very much. Awesome. So excited. So then I'm doing what another respectable 34-year-old male does on his day off. Sit on the couch in his underwear, playing FIFA.
There's a theme here.
And
he's 34.
I'm just throwing it in for. Hey, I got off. Cool. They're yours. Do you want one or two? Oh, two would be great. Thank you. Hey, friend of the pod, Phil, what are you doing? I'm actually off tomorrow. Hey, you want to drive down to Miami to see this game? Yeah, absolutely. Sounds cool. Awesome. Hey, you want to send me a ticket? So I need to send you money? No, just send me a text when you're on your way down. Cool. Drive down to Miami. It's about a 3.5-hour drive here from Orlando. Get down there a little bit early. Hey, in town. Cool. I pick up the tickets at this time. Mr. Mike Rome is a very good and very talented presenter, host, interviewer for the WWE. He goes, "Nope, I got to pick up the tickets first. I got to be on the field at a certain time, but don't worry, I'll make sure that they're yours." Okay, cool. Thanks. So we go, we grab a bite before game. We get there. We get to the stadium. We see him out front. "Hey, man, how's it going? Good to see you, yada, yada." Some small talking. His PR person is in traffic still, so not quite sure when they get there to get the tickets, so on and so forth. Then he goes, "Hey, a representative from Manchester United Football Club is on their way down to get us in the game." What? From Manchester United? Yes. Oh, okay, cool. Wow. She comes down. Emily from Manchester United Football Club, a PR person. Lovely lassie. Lovely. Goes up to the ticket counter, gets us 4 tickets.
For you and the WWE crew.
For me and the yes.
Love it.
Sure, love it. Don't watch wrestling whatsoever.
At this point, he had texted Ron and I, and we said pictures it didn't happen, and we start getting a pictorial story.
Not quite.
Like,
Yeah, close. Not quite. It wasn't until I got the ticket in my hand that what does like M40B mean? That's not like a section. No, it's a suite.
Nice.
It's a Manchester United provided suite to Mike Rome and the WWE team that was there. So we're going up to this suite. Before we even get up to the suite, Mike taps me on the shoulder. Is that Raul that just passed us? Raul gets in an elevator. Legendary player for Real Madrid walks in the elevator right next to us. And I'm like, yeah, that's Raul. All right. That is awesome. He looks great still. Can still give an easy 60 on the pitch. Easy. Go up, get into this beautiful... Easy. He looks fantastic. Good suit, too. Go up, get in this beautiful suite. Drinks, food, lovely view, corner of the pitch. Awesome. I'm in heaven right now. Drink, food, watch the team that I support. Here in my hand, I can put it down. Watching Real Madrid and Manchester United with some friends and an awesome box. Fantastic. A box provided by Manchester United.
That's
Not to
awesome.
me, but to the WWE. One of the WWE wrestlers by the name of Mojo. Look him up on all the socials. Good dude, full of energy. Came in, awesome guy. Cool. We're all sitting there watching, enjoying the game. We're chatting, having fun. They got to do a couple of TV things.
I think you see on ESPN.
Yes, it was on ESPN 2 or ESPN, yeah. So you can see them doing an interview in the box that we were in. Well, they got to go down to the field. Before they go down to the field, a representative of Manchester United comes up with 2 kits. And she handed, I got a free 2018, 2019 home Manchester United kit from Manchester United Football Club.
As a gift.
As a gift, just to top
Awesome.
off the
There
night.
you go.
Courtesy of Mr. Mike Rome and Ojo, the WWE.
That's so awesome.
Emily from Manchester.
Amazing.
It was insane. Thank you, Mike Rome, and thank you, Manchester United. The hospitality, the thought, just thank you. It was an awesome experience, and to see my club that I follow and be in a box that they provided and receive a kit. It was amazing. You can't thank both the club and him enough.
A friend we work with, I told them the story of what happened to you, and then they saw you shortly afterwards, and they're like, "Hey, you're right. Ferris is like floating 3 inches off the ground today."
Still buzzing.
Now
Was
that-
buzzing all the way until Ron brought in the beer.
You're welcome.
Hey, balance. Unlike this beer,
Well, the beer. Thank you.
which is not. The thing is, that's an amazing story with a great ending.
Yes.
So I'll let that segue into my Can Jose survive third year and say that's a story that will not have a great ending.
You don't think so?
No, not the way he's going after Martial about missing because his kid was just born. The way that he's talked following.
Okay. In fairness, Martial just picked up and left. There was no like, hey, heads up. In fairness.
Yeah, but it's how Jose's handling it to the press in the public and running his mouth.
Yeah, he's busy alienating players.
Exactly, which is what happened at Chelsea. He lost the players. So you have that going on.
Sorry, I just saw Ferris'
Take a
face.
swig of that beer.
Sorry. Done.
He's already losing them, and like the way he trashed him after one of the preseason games about these
Yeah.
are not 70% of my.
I wouldn't pay for this game.
Yeah, exactly. And he's just like
Why do the Americans come and pay for this? This is terrible.
Yeah. Well, they were in Dublin, right? The Chelsea Arsenal game was in Dublin.
That was
The International Cup is all over the world. The Chelsea and Arsenal one was
they
in
play
Dublin.
against Bayern Munich tomorrow in the Allianz.
I was
their
talking
only
about Manchester
United
United, not Chelsea Arsenal.
Oh, sorry. God, I still do that. I still try to make Jose be part of Chelsea. God, I do that all the time. I can't let it go. I can't let it go.
Yeah, he had a pretty bad press conference afterwards.
Yeah, he's just trashing him. And like
just alienating his players. Who's going to want to go work for him?
Exactly. Who's going to want to make up this 19-point difference against Manchester City?
For a guy that's all he's doing is alienating the players.
He had a great season. So I don't know. I think he has already started his third year curse. Look, like he could start the season and turn it around, but he actually, this is going to sound silly, I know, but Jose needs a really good press conference this weekend.
He needs a win and
or a lose. He needs to be cool. You know what I mean?
I think he needs the win, and he needs a good presser. He's just.
I just mean if it's a loss and he's a bad presser, cracks on the team, it's just going to get worse. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Although Jose is also the guy that go, hey, well, you won. Davis happy. I'm not happy we won. We was terrible the way that we won. We won against this team. No, it was bad. Like that. He'll do that. The
funny thing is that the season has not even started, and he's already starting with mind games, which is classic Jose Mourinho.
It is. Well, he's taking it on him opposed to the team.
Yep.
It's not a bad tactic, considering we're going to have a lot of players miss the first few games due to.
It's a bad tactic when you're alienating the players who are playing for you.
If what he says in the press, is that what he says in the locker room?
I don't think it matters. You see the press if you're a player, you see it.
But if he could be saying, "Hey, this is a show for the press, gents. I'm going to take this on me. I'm going to take it away. I'm going to have them talking about me in the presser."
No, but who
I don't know if that's what he's doing.
If you're like, thanks, dude. So you're going to trash me in the press? He's trashing the players in the press.
I don't think he's trashing the players that are actually going to play.
No, of course not. He's trashing the young players, which is also his problem. He's terrible with the young players.
I think he also just realizes, and a lot of teams don't say it, but come the start of the year, they're not going to see time. They're going to get loaned out. They're going to go off, and he's not the one that's going to be responsible for developing them.
Awesome.
That's the coaching
staff.
That's the academy coaches. That's
one of his greatest strengths and greatest weaknesses.
Right.
He does not develop talent.
Right. That's the point I'm trying. Right. That's the point I'm trying to make.
Who's excited to go practice in Manchester? If you got a light blue kit or a red one, the way the coach just finished talking about how excited he was about the youth and everything, like he's inspiring that club.
Yeah, Guardiola
in Manchester City. You got to do that, man. Is you got to inspire the whole club, and Jose's not doing that. And Jose is the special one, but he ain't bigger than Man United.
No, I mean they'll
he's got to.
They'll can him. I don't know. I'm split on whether or not he can survive a third season.
I would have said yes to this until these pressers in the last week.
Yep.
I would have said yeah. He's gonna. But it's so third year Jose so fast.
Yeah, normally it's a couple weeks.
I think he does survive a third season, though. I do. I think he survives a third season. I think he gets the players to click, and I really don't know if we're going to win the Premier League. I don't know how we're going to do in the Champions League.
It's not been a great offseason.
But I don't know if that's a bad thing or a good thing.
As he said, I need maybe 2 players. Maybe I get 1.
Okay, so say he gets those.
Well, he thinks he's only getting 1.
But yeah, it's probably only going to be 1 before now, and the window closes on the 10th, which is much earlier than it usually does.
Which is awesome, though. It ends before the season starts, which is...
or right, like that first game.
Yeah, right. Because before we've dealt with the fact...
Which is their first game, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, normally it's, 2 weeks after?
Yeah,
something
and
like that?
31st.
Mess
30th,
sometimes.
Yeah. So I don't know. There's a lot of uncertainty here. If I had to say for certain, I think Jose would survive the third season. Time will tell. And we'll see how Manchester United do. Still, I mean, I don't know. I got a weird feeling like they are going to do something that is what we don't expect. Whether it's a FA Cup win or a real deep run in the Champions League or finishing on top, something's going to happen to where it's going to be like, out of all the that Mourinho stirred around, they actually had a pretty good season.
Well, I guess time will tell.
Absolutely.
Time will tell.
But if you guys start on a few game slide, the pitchforks
It's going to get bad quick.
yeah, pitchforks
that's kind of
and
with-
torches are coming.
That's with a lot of teams, though, in the Premier League. You know, you get off that rough slide, and look how many. I mean, it's all downhill, and people are getting sacked left, right. That's why we had, 10, 11 out of the 20 teams last year. They sacked their
The two Robbies brought up
managers.
the point that Jose is the older school and not adjusting to the times of the younger players and the way they are now. It was an interesting point that they brought up. I know, dude. I'm still trying to work my way through this beer.
Oh,
Hey.
all right.
Next up.
On to the next team, Tottenham Hotspur. They finished in third last year on 77 points. Their manager is still Mauricio Pochettino. They will actually play their first game at Wembley Stadium. However, they will play their second game in their new home stadium, which I don't believe they've announced a name for yet, on September 15th. I think it's against Liverpool. Is that what?
Their second home game. not the
Second home game. Yep, sorry. I think it's against Liverpool. So that'll be interesting to see how they do in the new stadium this year. Notable ends. This is kind of surprising and shocking, and you could see this change, but right now, none. They don't have a single signing in the offseason
This is the
so far.
most worrisome thing, I think, for Tottenham
Yes,
fans.
I would agree.
Yeah, I would agree.
They had a couple of outs, not really anything big. Keenan Bennett went to Borussia Mönchengladbach, and Anton Walks he went to Portsmouth. So I guess the question is, can Tottenham remain in the top four with no signings this year? Again, that could change because we have, 7-ish days? But who are you bringing in 7 days that's going to make an impact or add depth
Yeah,
to this
who's
team?
floating out there that, yeah.
I mean, Harry Kane gets hurt at any point in the season.
Yeah.
You're going to reserves and having to play a false nine with Son or something to that extent. They have quality in their starting lineup.
I mean, because even some of the top teams have as we said, Manchester, not a great, huge offseason, but Manchester United, but they've done something. It's on nothing.
And you have no depth in two fronts, the Champions League and the Premier League, with some players that went pretty far in the World Cup. That's a long stretch of games between last year, this year, and now you have no depth, but you're playing 2 times a week for pretty much 75% of the season. Kane, Ali both went deep in the tournament. Eriksen went to knockout stages, I believe. Son went to the knockout stages as well. Or did Korea get out? Or was that... No, they didn't get out.
No, Korea didn't get out.
Korea didn't get out. But I don't know. I'd be a little concerned if I was a Tottenham fan at the current time because
I think they are. I mean, you go on Twitter, they're all a little freaked out about
yeah,
the lack
I don't
of-
think that to answer the question, I don't think they remain in the
They
top
haven't
four.
signed anybody. Who are they, Arsenal?
I just don't think they could produce at the level at which they have coming out of a World Cup with players that played heavily in that.
How are you
and then on two fronts with no depth.
with what you've done, how are you going to top the two teams above you?
True.
Or even the 1, 2, 3 teams below you.
Yeah, we'll get to them, but you're absolutely right. Their notable outs are Keenan Bennett and Anton Walks.
I already said that.
Did you say that?
I did.
Oh, my bad. I only heard the ends.
That's
Sorry, I probably was drinking the beer and it
mess with your
destroyed
mind.
my brain.
Absolutely.
Gave you
Understandable. Understandable.
So can Tottenham remain the top four with no signings this year?
Nope.
No.
Yeah, I'm not feeling good about that.
What do you
It's
think?
time for the phrase "that's so Spursy" to work itself back into the vernacular.
What do you think the highest position they can achieve?
6th.
That's where I was gonna go.
Yeah, I don't even think it's a fifth. I think it's I agree. I can float with that. Next up, number 4 from last year, Liverpool finished on 75 points. Manager Jurgen, best hugs in the world, Klopp.
Great teeth.
Notable ends, Fabinho. I got to read these closer. Naby Keita and Xherdan Shaqiri and
Yep.
and Alisson from
Which
Roma.
breaks the world record fee for a goaltender.
Yeah, big. That is the signing.
And they needed it.
They needed to go, but that's the signing. Notable outs: Amir Khan to Juventus, John Flanagan to the Rangers, and Danny Ward to Leicester.
I think the signing of Shaqiri is huge for them.
I think it adds depth. I think it adds a lot of depth. I don't think he really gets into the starting lineup, but coming off the bench in Champions League and Premier League games,
He's going to be a huge
right.
impact player. He's got so much energy. it's very, very creative, and his service into the box is pretty awesome.
And they still have a ton of players that can score all day long.
Yep. That's
This
a
is-
really good signing for them.
I think the Fabinho and then the Nebi Keita, which remember they did last year, but didn't actually sign him until this summer.
Right, they
I
did.
think
Right.
those are really good signings. That's going to beef up their midfield a lot. The only thing I'm slightly worried about this team is they didn't sign anybody at the back to go with Van Dyke. I know Dejan Lovren's back there, and he came out and said he's whatever, he's a better player, or he's this, or he's one of the best players in the World Cup, or whatever he said. But another player there that could start with Van Dyke, and then you have some players at depth there. You could see them bring in a center back still. I don't think so. But it's a very Klopp-esque window in terms of signings because he is so attack heavy that when he was at Dortmund, he didn't win and he didn't go all the way because they didn't have anything at the back. He kind of has that now with Van Dyke, but will the long full stretch of the season, because Van Dyke did not play for some of the season because he kind of sat out with Southampton, played a little bit, and then joined them at the winter window. Will that wear on him? But all in all,
so.
I think Liverpool had a fantastic offseason.
Great team.
in
And
signings,
their word is they're going after Aaron Ramsey right now.
which
I
would
don't know if you've
only
seen that.
beef up that midfield
That-
even
yep.
more.
Yep. Plus, I mean, Klopp, he had a taste of the Champions League title. Like
Yeah.
he said it in an interview, like, you're not going to get many of those opportunities in your life. He's like, he wants that.
Yeah. So I guess the big question is, with all the new signings, can Klopp and Liverpool win the league this season?
They're definitely set up to make a run for it.
Ferris?
I initially thought they would, and I thought they could possibly win the entire thing. But going to Blake's point, I think Klopp's going to focus real heavily on the Champions League. He tasted it last year. He was almost there. I think he's retooled a bit for that long stretch and added some depth. I think that's what he's going to be going for. And I think just that slight focus somewhere else puts them a second or third. But I don't know if they'll win the Premier League.
I vote for them to win. I think they're going to. They have a very strong, they have such a strong attacking core. And toward the end of last season, they just said, defense, we're just going to outscore you. And it was, by and large, a winning recipe. So they made quite the run against Tottenham at the end. And Manchester United and Liverpool kept swapping back and forth. And then, so I think Liverpool's got what it takes to win the league this season.
Blake?
I answered.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
That-
See, you
This
did.
beer
This
is
right, yeah,
terrible.
yeah.
This beer is
Yeah, no, they, I think
we are
they
out
can.
of
I think they can
whack.
make the run. I think they can make
I
the
just
run.
swore, Blake.
What did you say?
I said that's
Oh,
twice.
oh, thanks. Twice.
This-
Okay. Yeah, got it.
This
Don, get me something else.
expletive beer.
Oh god. Oh my god. Oh, okay.
And the putrescence has only gotten worse as it's gotten warm.
Oh, it's gotten warmer.
Done.
and
Done. I'm done.
Nope, you finish
no,
it.
I did. It's done.
It's
It's empty.
Oh, God, terrible.
Get me something else.
Ron, would you like to introduce the next group while I
Uh,
try to finish this gross beer?
Sure. Finishing fifth last season, Chelsea on 70 points. Our new manager, who's formerly from Napoli, Maurizio Sarri. They fired Antonio Conte back on July 12th. Our notable ins, Jorginho from Napoli and Rob Green from Huddersfield Town. Our notable outs, all of our loans with the exception of 3.
It's so weird. Chelsea with no loans.
Yeah, it's really weird.
Did Batshuayi officially sign?
Wait, no. Did you not see that right?
They have 17.
Yeah.
All on loan with the exception of 3.
Wow. So ridiculous.
Crazy.
Yeah, we're just a player factory. There were a ton.
Is Batshuayi still on loan? That's what I was asking.
Yeah.
Or is he- okay.
Currently,
Okay.
no one's come out and officially, which I think is,
That's coming, I think.
Is he?
Dortmund seems to like him.
yeah, I really
Yeah.
think they should hold him. I mean, who are we going to use? You're going to ask Murata to stand up and put on his big boy pants and play, and part of me wants to give him that shot, but man, he didn't have the greatest World Cup. So, I mean,
Well, that's because he didn't go to the World Cup.
Murata?
He didn't go to the World Cup.
Sorry, it was preseason, not World Cup. I'm sorry, preseason. And I just
So many
don't.
players did a good World Cup, though.
Yes, without question. I mean, N'Golo Kante,
Eden Hazard.
Eden Hazard, plenty of Chelsea players. But this was a rough offseason for Chelsea with the albeit late sacking of Antonio Conte.
Why late? Because everybody knew it was happening.
That was
so strange.
That should have happened as soon as the season ended, it felt like.
What I really feel like this continues to point out, which I've been saying for, 8 months now, is our senior leadership and our front office is a little bit better than this beer.
Well, and that's your question, is the what now with Roman Abramovich and Chelsea?
I don't know, especially because he can't even get into the country.
Is he still?
He's
not
still-
allowed?
He's still
Okay,
out.
so that's what I thought. But,
He's still out. So he can't even his visa was revoked.
Someone just do a hostile takeover and
So it's just our front office is so questionable. We are losing. We're letting quality players in the trade window slip through our fingers. It's going to be an interesting year, and it's going to be even worse if Courtois moves on, which doesn't look like he's going to. But if Courtois moves on, anybody would take him, especially after the World Cup he just had.
He had a great cup. Yeah.
If Eden Hazard decides not to sign, that would hurt huge. Barcelona's all over him. Barcelona's also all over Willian. So if those three players decide to not sign, I don't know that Chelsea makes it back to where they were when they finished this season. I don't think they make fifth. But I'm going to be the ever optimistic fan and say none of those three leave, at least in the beginning of the season, and we smash out a decent season.
I agree with you completely. Ferris.
Your
That was
turn.
a very, very thoughtful breath of yours. Oh, God, I got one sip
I
left.
think Chelsea quietly get back into fourth in that fourth spot. I think they have enough talent there, and I think Mauricio Sarri can bring a little bit to the team. I think Jorginho is a good signing. They will pair very well with Conte in midfield, and I do think Alvaro Morata will have a much better year. I think what you'll find, though, is Eden Hazard is going to be the key to this, because if he wants to play for Sarri, he'll get back in the top four. If he doesn't, like he didn't want to play for Mourinho his third year,
it's going to be a
then
mess.
can go north or south real quick. God, this beer has just messed with me. But I think he's the key. So I think they quietly get back into fourth, because they're not they're in Europa League, but I don't think Sarri's going after that. I think he just wants to get back in that top four and get back in the
Oh, God, I did it. I finished it. Oh,
boy.
Oh, that beer.
I haven't yet.
Oh, that last lukewarm sip. Whoa.
The other thing is the person who has, through all the ups and downs in recent years, Willian, has been the model of professionalism. Now he wants out of the club.
Come to United.
And if Sarri can get Willian on the page and make Willian happy, then we're going to have a great season. But he's looking to jump. So I hope you're right. I hope they have an incredible season and break the top four. And, hey, I'll take winning the league. But I don't think it's all that likely. Just my opinion. All right, Blake, you're for number 6 while I finish the piss water.
Good luck, man. That was rough in the last one. So in number 6 last year, we have Arsenal finished 163 points. Manager for the first time in 21 years.
Oh,
no
God.
Arsene Wenger. Yeah, well, that's that finishing that beer is rough. We've got Unai Emery stepping in from PSG, taking the reins at Arsenal. A fiery dude. Expect to see him running or bouncing up and down the side of the pitch a little more than you saw Arsene in terms of passion, just a style, just how he is. Emery was announced by the club on May 23rd, 2018, Following Arsene Wenger's announced that he'd be leaving Arsenal. Notable ins for Arsenal are Steven Lichtensteiner, Bernd Leno, I'll mess this one. Socrates Papastafilopoulos. I think
Socrates.
I was going to say, could that be
Socrates.
Socrates.
But
Spelled
you
with a
said,
K?
but you said the last name very good.
Yeah, well, I was more worried about that. I was like concerned about hitting that one. He's from Borussia Dortmund, obviously, and Lucas Torreira from Sampdoria, and Matteo Ganduzzi. It's a
Sounds that right to me from Lorient.
Right. Actually, a lot of signings on theirs. On their end, with notable outs being Cazorla out finally.
Which we knew that was coming.
Poor guy.
Little sausage roll.
Pierre Mertesacker retired, and Jack Wilshere off to West Ham.
Interesting move for
with
Jack
his Walker.
What's that?
With his Walker.
With his Walker. Well, Jack Wilshere, we'll talk about a little bit later with West Ham. I think that's an interesting move for West Ham. Arsenal, yeah, it's about time to
good for both of them, I think.
All right, to cut ties. I really like their signings, though. I think
Arsenal's had some really good signings.
The concerns at which they needed to address, that being the back line, and midfield. I think they could do quite well.
That's already very different, mind you.
Yes.
Every year with Arsenal, it's been so we know we need this, center back. We're not going to do that. We're not going to and a lot of things were addressed in these signings.
And I think if they focus mainly on the Premier League, they put themselves in a good position and have a shot at winning the entire thing. If they try to bow out of the Europa League and not focus on that and just focus on the Premier League, they have the talent to do it. Oh, God, that burp was terrible. If you remember correctly, they have a very speedy, talented front two right now in Lacazette and Aubameyang. If Emery can get them playing together up front with a Mesut Ozil sitting in that number 10 role, I think they could do some damage. Their back line shored up, and they have a better midfield in Torreira. So I like Arsenal a lot this year, and I think that they're gonna get back in the top four for sure.
I think the biggest thing is that for Arsenal fans, this is exciting again. There's a little pressure off in the sense of, yes, you want to win the league, but it's a new coach for the first time after 21 years. There's not a feeling of you better win it all out the gate. You know what I mean?
There's no expectation.
Yeah. And we just want something different, which you're already getting at this point.
Right.
If Emery can, Arsenal's got plenty of power up front. They have had that. If he can make the back as 3/4 as good as the front, we're talking about a very different Arsenal.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm excited. It's the first season I've been really, really excited and specifically just for Arsenal because I can't wait to see what they do. I can't wait to see Aubameyang get cut loose. Dude he could have a great season ahead of him.
And he had a very bright end of the season.
Yeah.
For you guys, especially when they started playing Lacazette with him. So
yep. Oh, so much better once they started doing that. And So I don't know. I feel good about this. I feel it should be a fun season. I feel like we'll see something different.
I agree.
Yeah, me three. So the question, I guess, would be, will Emery get Arsenal back in the Champions League? And it pretty much sounds like it's a resounding
I've already
yes.
said yeah. I think he will.
Yeah, I agree. So that moves us on to Burnley.
Can
What?
Do we want to do another beer? No.
At the halfway point.
Okay.
We still
I
have
just
a
want
lot
to get
to
that
go.
taste out of the Snapperhead crap out of my mouth.
We still have a bit to go.
Okay.
So I'll move through rather quick. Burnley finished 7th place last season on 54 points. Manager Sean Dyche, who is kind of a personal favorite of all of ours. Notable ins: Vinny Steels from York City.
I just purely put that on there because of the name.
Vinny Steels is a
Awesome
sweet name.
Yeah,
He might be getting added.
No clue who he is if he's bad.
He's getting
good.
his own Netflix TV show.
Vinny Steels, baby.
Yeah,
Love it.
He's going to partner up with Rose Lavelle. Notable outs: Scott Arfield goes to the Rangers. Chris Long goes to Fleetwood Town, and Dean Marney is just released.
Yes, he's just released. For a second there, I thought I mistyped. He may have retired. I don't remember, but he may have just been released.
So the question is, can Burnley make Europe for a second season in a row?
No.
Unfortunately, no.
I think if they can pull off ending in the top 10 after making it to 7th and going to Europe,
yeah.
that is a great follow-up season.
Yeah. I agree.
It's a great follow-up season. I just think being split like this is much harder to pull off.
Correct. And their depth isn't quite there.
I will say a caveat. If they get knocked out of Europa real quick, maybe they could try to get back in that seventh spot. But I just don't
I think it's
going
to be the opposite. I think that they'll slip down the table quite a bit, barely survive, but try to focus and get a good run in the Europa League.
Yeah.
Because these fans won't see Europe very often, and Turf Moor is going to be rocking, and they're going to have a blast, and they'll use every ounce of energy.
Exciting.
To
Yeah. And that's a slip you can afford to make in the Premier League.
As long as you don't go down.
Right. Yeah, you can slip into 10th. And
this is a club I don't think will go down. This is not a. That
certainly
doesn't
hope
work.
not. I don't think they will, but I think that they'll be focused on the Europe so much that they'll.
But if they can make a
slip down
top
the
10
table.
finish, that'd be an outstanding season. Outstanding 2 seasons for them.
yeah, agreed. So moving on to Everton, 8th place, finished on 49 points. Manager Marco Silva of who used to be Watford and Swansea,
Which I think we called way early in the season that as soon as he left Watford at the time, that's probably where he's going.
Right. Silva was confirmed on the 31st of May following the sacking of Big Sam Allardyce on May 16th. Their notable ins are Richarlison from Watford and Lucas Digne from Barcelona.
Sneaky good signing there.
Yeah, that's a very smart signing by them. Notable outs. Wayne Rooney, who goes to DC United, breaks his nose in his game after his first
Scored a
goal.
goal.
Yeah, gets a hip to the face. Man, he bled like crazy. Dave Clausen from
Davy Clausen.
Davy Clausen from Werder Bremen, and then Ramiro Mori from Villarreal.
Funes Mori.
Or 2 Villarreal, yeah.
I think the Richarlison, while expensive at 40 million pounds plus a deal, very expensive for him. But Silva knows him, obviously brought him into Watford at the time. Started off really hot, if you remember, last year. If you can get that same form from him this year and keep it going all year, I think Richarlison will be a very good add. But that's a big if. I think the Digne signing's a sneaky good. And unfortunately, Davy Clausen was coming with a lot of promise, and that midfield just didn't pan out.
Right.
And goes over to Germany. And then Wayne Rooney went back, got a chance to play for his pajama-wearing club team, and then shipped off to the States.
Yeah, I don't really think that Rooney was that big a loss, to be honest.
Yeah, I would agree. I think it was kind of a last Premier League hurrah. Let's go back to the team that you first played
Sell
for.
some jerseys.
He had a good season, was up there, and he may have even been the league's or the team's top goal scorer. And sell some jerseys. The club appreciated it. He appreciated it. Off to the States. You move on. New manager. A couple of new signings. Silva's going to play attacking style of ball, which is kind of what everybody at Everton wants because Sam Allen, they certainly didn't do that.
But that's your question. Can that new manager, Marco Silva, get the Toffees back to playing in Europe?
I think, yes, they can. Not Champions League, but Europa League, I think he can.
Yeah, I would agree. I think they have a shot at the Europa League.
I think there's something rotten in the state of Everton, and they lucky to get a top 10 finish. I don't think the question for me isn't that coach. The question is their front office that is continuing to have such issues with how they run the business.
Yeah, there's
keeping people and
that's true.
I think this was smart business in the offseason. Like I said, the Richarlison was a
I've
little
seen
expensive.
them do smart business in the offseason before. There's just something.
Well, you thought
with Everton.
we all thought they did that last year
Yeah.
when they brought in a bunch of players, and that didn't pan out.
I don't know. Something's up with Everton right now.
Agreed. But I think if everything can click, I think they'll have a shot at Europe. I don't think they're going to really break the top 4, but
Correct. I agree with you. Coming in at number 9, Leicester City, the Foxes, finished on 47 points. Manager still Claude Puel. Notable ins, Ricardo Pereira from Porto, Johnny Evans, sneaky good and back there.
That's a
Sneaky,
great
sneaky
signing.
good. And Danny Ward from Liverpool. Notable outs, Robert Huth, so kind of fills in for Johnny Evans. Robert Huth obviously won the Champions League back there with Morgan a few years back, so he was released, and then Riyad Mahrez, and I think that's real key. That's a big loss for them.
yes.
Big creative attacking player. They don't have a lot of that. Okazaki and Vardy's the real only two that come to mind. grays in there, but I mean, we'll just go straight to the question of the season. Without Mares, does Leicester's hopes of staying in the top 10 fade away? I think they do. I think they slip down the table, and they may even find themselves in a relegation battle. Exactly right.
Depending on how our newly promoted teams do. Like last year, the newly promoted clubs did great.
And I think they'll do great again this year.
That is a problem. If they weren't to do great, then I could see Leicester in a top 10 spot. But I think you could see these, the couple of these clubs are going to be very competitive, and that's going to be tough for clubs like Leicester.
Yeah, I agree. I think they're going to have a rough season, and I wouldn't be surprised if they get to the winter transfer league or the winter transfer window, and you start seeing people like Vardy or Okazaki start to offload because they're going
out of the sinking ship.
Yeah, I think that's very likely with the
and the chips on the planes. I'm out.
Deuces. Don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split you.
I don't know where Vardy. Yeah, that's gonna be the fun. God, man, Vardy goes somewhere. Yeah, where does he go?
Where does he go?
Yeah, I know.
Does he go anywhere?
I could actually see him going to the next club. To be honest with you.
That would be Newcastle United, and that's not.
It's probably not a bad plan
with Rafa Benitez.
Yeah, so moving on to sort of Newcastle United. They ended in 10th with 44 points. Manager Rafael Benitez, as Ferris just said. Notable ends: Martin Dubravka. This beer.
Yeah, I love that we're blaming everything on the beer.
It's because I can still taste it.
It's gross.
Ki Sung Young is from Swansea City.
Sneaky good there too.
Kennedy from Chelsea on a loan. Chelsea, they got a lot of loans out this year.
No,
I think like one or two.
Fabian Schär from Deportivo La Coruna, and Yoshirino Muto from Mainz. Yoshinori Muto.
Hey.
There we go. I got it. With notable outs being Jack Colback, which is still one of the more fun names to say.
Mm-hmm.
So English sounding. Chancellor Memba, Deporto, Alexander Mitrovic to Fulham.
I think that Mitrovic going to Fulham is a loss for them.
Yes and no. I think the Mutu and Ki-Sun Young signings, I think, were very good. And I think if Mutu can produce what he did 2 years ago in Germany, where he was a goal-scoring machine, and Arsenal were looking at him there for a while, I think Benitez may be able to get that out of him. And going to the question, can Newcastle remain in the top 10? I think they can.
See, to me, this is the kind of club
right there at 10th, but I think they can.
I see, but this is where I think the Everton. I think they could hop a team like Everton. I think they've got.
I don't know if they have that
better coach or better.
Maybe.
I see them in the top 10 easily.
I think if they're in the top 10, it'll be 9 or 10.
Yeah, that's exactly where.
Yeah.
It's so funny to look at some of the next clubs we got coming up, because some of these were definitely ones we kind of thought at major points of the season, for most of the seasons, they were not going to be in the Premier League this coming year.
Yeah.
But that's number 11. So before we go to that, should we go to the new beer to
get the
beer taste out of the mouth?
To get that rotten out of our mouths.
Oh, God. That's
why I didn't pour mine in the glass. I just do it in the can. And,
you didn't know it was going to be bad.
Oh, come on. Give me it's from Butternut's Brewery. We're at Moo Castle and whatever the the other beer was called. Pig Latin scrapple crap. Get me started. I know it was bad beer. We knew the minute it was brought in the damn room, it was going to be bad.
I mean, everything he's saying is accurate. We pretty much knew it was going to be terrible.
That was amazing.
That was a Clark Griswold style rant.
Where's the Tylenol? Yeah. Oh, that was good.
You pushed me to it,
Oh, brilliant. All right. So the next beer is a beer from a Canadian listener. That's right. We have listeners in Canada.
What'd you say?
Sorry?
Sorry.
That's the sound of all the Canadians turning us off right now. From a brewery, first-time brewery on the pod, Mount Begbie Brewery, located in beautiful Revelstoke, British Columbia. Right in the heart of British Columbia.
I'm excited now.
In the Columbia Mountain Range, which is pretty spectacular. I've seen from pictures. I've never been there yet. But the company is named after Mount Begbie, which is a gigantic glacial mountain that dominates the Revelstoke skyline. And in turn, the mountain is named after Matthew Hangin' Judge Begbie. Yep, that's
Great name.
That's accurate. A colorful character from Revelstoke's early history,
say.
who probably would have benefited from a sip of Mount Begbie's soothing ales before rendering his judgments. So I decided, hey, this guy sounds like a character. What's his deal? So I looked up Mr. Begbie, born in 1819, dies 1894, was a British lawyer, politician, and judge, and in 1858 became the first Chief Justice of the Crown Colony of British Columbia. And he became the first Supreme Court judge of the colony of British Columbia, and apparently liked to see people swinging from the rope. That's where he gets the name
Get a
of
rope.
Ooh.
Hanging Judge.
New York City.
Get a rope. Yep. So we are, I'll tell you quickly about the brewery, founded by Bart and Tracy Larson in 1996. Bart has a PhD in nuclear physics, but prefers to make beer, not war.
I'm already going to guess this is better than the Butternut Brewery beer.
Yeah.
Just off that alone.
And then Tracy Larson, who is the manager and marketing skill of the entire place, they make a boatload of beers. They have 13 different beers, and of those 13 different beers, our super cool listener sent us. Dun, 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 dun.
I'm sorry, did you say the listener's name?
I did not, because I don't know their social media handles, and I don't really want to give out real names just in case.
Cool.
But Powerhouse Pale Ale
Wow.
from
I
Revelstoke, British Columbia. It is a 4.7% alcohol by volume. A generous portion of lightly roasted malt gives this beer a smooth yet distinctive character, a surge of great taste with every sip. Take a look-see there, gentlemen.
I already feel way more confident about this. 4.7% alcohol.
Yep, it's got a pretty good
Picture of El Chihuat Dam.
It's got a pretty good review on Rate Beer at
Cool, man.
it's a 4.5 out of 5 on the average reviews.
Well, the last one was a 2 out of 5, so that's pretty good.
Yep, so we've doubled
We've
it.
stepped up.
And even if this beer is not that great, it's still great.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, this beer is going to get a better review by comparison.
You may have already said this. This is our first Canadian beer on the pod, right?
No, we've had French Canadian beer. We had something from
actually from Canada.
From what's the famous one in Montreal?
Magic Hat. Have
not
we had Magic Hat?
The one that
Oh no, that's Vermont.
Unibrew.
Thank you.
Unibrew.
Oh, did we? Yeah, you're right. You're right.
All right, so this is a big bottle. This is a big bottle.
Gross.
Wow. What did that butternut
I don't know
do
what
to
that
us?
butternut ruined.
Send your glasses over and start the next team.
All right, well, moving on to number 11. Speaking of teams we didn't think at some points was actually going to still be in the Premier League, we have Crystal Palace finishing with 44 points. Manager Roy Hodgson.
What a job he did last year.
Gotta say, a huge reason for the fact that they are where they are.
God bless you.
Let's see, their notable ends. We have got Vincent Guita from Getafe, Chikoku Coyote. I always say that wrong.
Check Kyoto.
Check-
Sorry.
Cheko
Kuyate.
from Senegal, who just played in the World Cup. From West Ham. They got Max Meyer from Schalke. Notable outs were Damian Delaney, Johan Kabaye, and Bakare Sako, who was released. So Crystal Palace, I mean, I guess to the question, can they crack the top 10?
Yeah.
They got some good signings.
I think they
Some good
can.
pickups. I could see this happening. Again, I could see a Leicester Everton having a rough row and the team like this move up a bit. All right, Ron, so let's see. What was the name of this beer one more time?
This one's the Powerhouse Pale Ale
right.
from Mount Begbie Brewing Company in Revelstoke, British Columbia.
Doesn't smell like
Thank
fish
God
peas.
it's not from butternut.
So it already is a step up.
Ooh.
Nice amber color.
Yeah.
Not a ton of head retention. Cheers, gents,
Cheers.
to a better beer. Here we go. Oh, good God in heaven. That's delightful. Very malty.
that is really
See,
good.
This is
Oh,
malty.
that's, yeah.
Yeah. This
Oh,
is
malt.
malty.
Yes, this is what the can all malt. Man,
Those people can go
You ever seen
piss up a rope.
Yeah,
Delightful.
This is, and I'm not saying this because the other one sucked so bad. It's got a very good flavor.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
The
You know the best part about it? It tastes like a beer. That's step one of making a beer.
What a concept.
But it does.
It only took an astrophysicist. What was the guy?
the other one,
Nuclear physicist to figure out that how to make a damn beer.
for the other one, as bad as it was, the review of it saying it is weak though is weird. For all the bad flavor, it was weak.
Yeah.
This is full. This is a full
Yeah.
flavor of its style.
it's got a really good finish and a very light mouthfeel for how
It's not
much
super hoppy for a pale ale, but it's very.
for all the malt in it. The mouthfeel is really light.
Does this ring see if this rings true for you? I tried this, and I it's like a lighter Doppelbock.
Yeah.
Doppelbock's kind of real malty, you know. This
Yeah,
is
I could see that.
Much lighter. than
Yeah,
the Bach, but
right. Yeah,
Got nice caramel notes. This is good.
this is a good one.
beer. Thank you, listener from Canada. Are they from Canada?
Yes.
Awesome.
Oh, Canada.
Thank you for making better beer than Butternut. So Ron, any chance Palace can crack top 10?
Nope. I don't think they're going to. I think the Crystal Palace curse keeps it on.
The Eagle doesn't pull them out.
Nope. I think for some reason Crystal Palace is just such an injury-prone team. I don't think they crack the top 10.
I think they can. I think they'll be up there in the Newcastle realm. So 8, 9, 10. I think they made some pretty good signings. Some quiet signings, but some good signings. Kuyate, I think, is a really good player, and he protects that back four. He can even play in the back four. He can even play in midfield. That looks like a beer. That's amazing.
The beer's so
Lofty
clear. I was just
concept.
looking at this. Yeah, I know.
But Czech Kyote is a good signing for them. I think he's going to add some stability in there. He has better legs. He's taller than Johan can buy. Can't quite pass the ball as well, but I think he's going to add some stability there. And I like the Max Meyer signing. I think you kind of see him be a little bit of a star for that team. So I do think they get in the top 10. Barely, but they get in there.
This pushes us on. You want to get the next club there, Ferris?
Sure can, man. I was putting the scrapple crapple snapper head down on the ground.
You just got it off the table.
Yep. Off the table. Get it
this
away
out of
from
my
anything that resembles beer or any good stuff in life. Bournemouth, the Cherries, one of our favorites. The Cherries. Mr. Eddie Howe, they finished on 44 points last year. Some signings, some outs. Not a lot, though. David Brooks from Sheffield United and Diego Rico from Leganés. I think David Brooks is going to get a lot of time for them. Notable outs, Patrick O'Flannery was released. Lewis Graben, Nottingham Forest, and Benik Afobe to Wolves, which is an interesting move because he had a pretty good season for Bournemouth last year, and Wolves just coming up. Interesting, but good. Let me just see how Callum Wilson goes for hopefully a full year.
Yeah.
I think him, Stanislas, and the Norwegian kid. His name is eluding me at the current time. But going to the question, what now for Bournemouth going to their fourth year in the Premier League?
I think with the signings you just mentioned, this is all about, to me, this looks like just staying in the Premier League.
I would agree.
I don't think this is a
I would
push
agree.
for anything. I think it's just staying in the Premier League. And for a club the size of Bournemouth, 4 years, that's huge. Get that money. See if you can make some moves later. I don't know. They got to watch it, you know? I'm glad you fired up.
I had something on my phone by accident.
But I don't know. I don't know, man. They got to be careful. They courted relegation this go round and got lucky. Some teams kind of just collapsed. So
Only 4 points above that magical 40 line. But yeah, I think you're exactly right. The goal is to stay in the Premier League. If they can do that, it's a successful year.
Yeah, if they can hang out, keep collecting that TV money, keep making smart moves, as long as they can manage to stay up, they'll be in striking distance of, some much better play.
And hang on to Eddie Howe. I think that's
Yes.
big for them as well.
Yeah, because, arguably he's the heart and soul of the team.
that could get harder to do as clubs look for
very good.
coaches.
You're right.
That could
Very
be
good.
very hard to do. This rolls us over to West Ham, who finished on 42 points. Manager Manuel Pellegrini, back in the Premier League.
Back in the Premier League.
Pellegrini was confirmed as Hammer's manager on May 22nd, following David Moyes' departure on May 16th. Notable ends: Ryan Fredericks from Fulham, Issa Diop from Toulouse, Lacaz Fabianski from Swansea, Jack Wilshere from Arsenal, as we talked about earlier, Andriy did I say that right?
Yarmolenko.
Thank you, from Dortmund, and Felipe Anderson. I love when Ferris rescues us, but he still can't say Christian Pulisic.
Nope.
Who can he say?
Christian Pulisic.
Exactly.
It was the beer.
Yeah, I was gonna say. You know what the funny thing is look at the smile on his face now. He's all happy and relaxed.
Oh yeah, this beer
blame
is
it on that.
this new beer has made us in a much better mood. Notable outs for West Ham were James Collins, Patrick Evra,
Patrice.
oh man, jeez,
It's the beer.
it is the beer. It's Patrice Evra, the guy. Say it again.
Chico Quixote.
Thank
I didn't even say it right that time.
To Crystal Palace. And a question for the season: new manager, a lot of signings, good enough to get West Ham back in the top 10.
Yes, I feel like they can. I like some of the signings here. I like the
you
Jack
have
Wilshere
everybody
signing.
in the top 10.
Sure, don't even worry about me. You put everybody in. Somebody's bound to get
My
in there
top
occasionally.
4 includes 9 clubs.
13.
Right.
I like the Jack Wilshere signing. I think that is really good. If he can stay healthy, I think he's going to add to their midfield quite a lot. The Yarmolenko and Felipe Anderson, both very talented wingers that can create, get the ball in the box. Anderson was looked at a few years back by United. If he can produce what he did, not necessarily last year, but a year or two before that, I think they got themselves a really good player. God bless you, Ron.
Thank you.
And then Ryan Fredericks from Fulham, kind of snipping at those teams coming up. And I think he's going to see a lot of time in their defense. And the Diop up front, I like their signings. I like Pellegrini. He knows the league. I do think it's enough to get them back into the top 10. I think that would be very, very good for West Ham and the fans of the Hammers.
I can agree with you. It's also why I keep saying a club like Everton could easily be out of the top 10 because of clubs like this.
Yeah.
Okay. I can see that.
Yeah.
I can see that.
I think they have a better shot getting into the top 10 than Crystal Palace does. So I'll agree with you for everything you just basically said. And I think they're going to be a fun team to watch.
I agree.
So keep your eye on them as the season goes by.
I think Wilshere's a good move for him and the club.
Yep.
Yeah, I think the style that Pellegrini plays will really help with Wilshere. But I also think a cool thing that he'll be able to do is I think he'll be able to. We'll finally see his leadership qualities because he's gonna have to pull this team up a bit and make some smart decisions and make some bring some people along with him. Because normally West Ham, you know, I don't know why they have they're normally a kind of a low morale team. So he's going to have to pick them up. But I think they could make the top 10.
Ron, you want to introduce our next group?
14th place was Watford. Watford didn't get relegated because I'm surprised. Finished on 41 points. They kind of had a season. Their manager, Javier Garcia.
One of 7 that year?
No, I had to look at this actually. He is their manager that ended last season with them. Surprisingly enough.
Right.
Yeah. But I did have to look that up because I was like, well, they're going to go through another. Yeah.
Yeah. They've had a few interesting ins. Ben Foster from West Brom, Mark Navarro from Espanyol, and Gerard Delfaux.
Delafeo.
Thank you,
He
Delafeo.
actually was on loan last year, so they just made this one permanent.
Right. And he was on loan with Barcelona.
He was on loan from Barcelona,
Yeah.
correct.
Notable outs, Richarlison, who we talked about going to Everton earlier, Zarte from the Boca Juniors, and Norden Amrabat from Al Nassr. So I guess the question is, Watford who?
They to me, they are in the relegation fight already.
I think they're going to be at the bottom of mediocre, to be honest.
Yeah.
I'm going to be boring, and I agree. Yeah. And I think they're going to be boring.
Yeah, we might have just summed up their season. Yeah. And another 0-0 match.
Radio Watford.
Yeah, Radio Watford. Yeah.
The next team is bound to be more exciting than Watford.
Oh, absolutely. The next team being...
Any team is going to be more exciting.
Is this yours, Ferris? I think it's yours.
Sure. I'll take it. Brighton and Hove Albion, the Seagulls, back in the Premier League for a second year in a row. They finished on exactly 40 points last year. Well done by them. Manager still is Chris Houghton, one of the most classiest gentlemen in the game. Notable ends, again, didn't really care about Jason Steele from Sutherland. Great last name. Bernardo Fernandez de Silva Jr. from RB Leipzig. Hugo Quito from Arsenal. And David Booten from Fulham. Notable outs, Steve Sidwell was released. Jamie Murphy went to Rangers. And Tim Krul was released, along with 13 other outs. Question, I guess, probably on everybody's mind is, can Brighton stay up for a second season on the bounce? Mr. Blake.
I don't see them... I see them being more exciting than Watford. I don't necessarily see them doing tremendously better than they've done here. I think this really depends on those newly promoted clubs and how they perform, which is probably going to be a sentiment we repeat for the next couple of clubs, I think. But I don't see them going on a barn burner of any kind.
Yeah, I agree. I think, like you said, the next couple of teams are all going to be in the relegation battle in some way, shape, or form, depending on how the newly promoted teams come in. But I don't think there's all that much that's exciting about Brighton Hove and Albion this season. I think if they do stay up, they're going to be in like 16, 17, pretty close to where they are now. And I think they're going to have a very less than exciting season.
I think they can have an exciting season, but going along the lines of what you guys said, they're going to be in a scrap all year.
Yeah.
The main thing for them is get points at home, get points at the Amex, where that crowd is
beautiful stadium.
Beautiful stadium.
Yep.
And that crowd is always backing them. You get points at home, you win that scrap most times than not. So I think it could be exciting because if you're in a scrap, kind of going game to game, you're having to fight for every point, for every goal. So I think, exciting in that sense of the word. But I do think I agree. They're going to be down there, and they're going to be in that 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 range all year. And can they get to that 40-point mark where they got last year?
Oh, it's going to be a tough one.
It is. This moves us to number 16, Huddersfield Town Terriers, finished on 37 points. Manager David Wagner, although we all know really it's Patrick Stewart, Captain Picard.
Beat me up, Scotty.
Still the best thing during any of their matches. We're following him when they would win, and pictures of him on Twitter as he was celebrating, as well as being at some of the matches. That big nail biter toward the end of the season last year. But manager Dave Wagner, big notable signings: Terence Congolo from Monaco, Jonas Lossi from Mainz, and Eric Derm from Borussia Dortmund.
Sneaky good signing.
Yeah, that's a lot of Dortmund clubs.
I think that's
a good one.
Wagner. Getting him in there. Yeah, it's a good signing.
A lot of Dortmund players to Premier League this year. We've already mentioned a lot of. Notable outs, Tom Inch, Jack Boyle. What an English name.
Right.
Dean Whitehead, and 9 others.
Well, as soon as I got to some of these teams, they swished and
Clean
changed
house.
a lot.
So what can the Terriers do this year? I think do as the name implies, Terriers, and just they got to be scrappy and scrap out. That's which is what they did. They were fun to watch.
Yeah.
They had some great games that they drew and won that they maybe shouldn't have. In some weird way, 3 points below Brighton Hove, I feel better about Huddersfield than I do about Brighton Hove because of their scrappiness. I don't know. Again, I think this plays a lot on how the newly promoted clubs play.
Yeah, and I agree. They're going to be in that scrap again, and just like Brighton, some of the teams we're talking about here, yes, they're just going to be in that scrap. I think for them, though, unlike Brighton, it's not so much getting points at home. They did a really good job last year of picking points off on the road.
Yeah.
And kind of surprising teams with how they played. So I think if they can do that again, especially pick some of those off from the teams that are coming up that may not know them as well, I think that gives them a very good chance to stay up. And their goal this year is 40 points. They didn't get that last year, but they stayed up by the hairs on the chinny chin chin of the Terrier.
So exciting.
But 40 points, that's their mark. That is on the board in the locker room, 40, circle it, and just get there.
Yeah, I think they're going to end up 14-15 area this season. I think there's too many teams like Watford and Brighton Hove and Crystal Palace, in my opinion, that are probably going to be a little lower than they will. So I'm going to be optimistic on Huddersfield. I think they're going to be a little better than we expect. That puts us at 17th.
A team
place.
I'm not going to be optimistic about.
Yeah, right. Southampton finishes on 36 points. Manager Mark Hughes. Notable ins, Stuart Armstrong from Celtic, Angus Gunn, which is a super great name from Man City, and Vestergaard from Borussia, I can't even pronounce it.
Mönchengladbach.
Gladbach, that's it.
Say it again.
Borussia Mönchengladbach.
Christian Pulisic. It is not that hard. It's so funny.
I can say the odd names and weird, but I cannot say. I don't know why.
So
Also a fun name to say, Borussia Mönchengladbach. 9!
Amazing.
Notable outs, Dusan Tadic. I think you spelled that wrong.
Dusan Tadic is deuces.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I had a C there at the end.
He goes to Ajax. Sofiane Boufal goes to Celtic Vigo on loan, and then 9 other people. So Southampton, clean house. And I guess the question is, how good is Southampton going to be this year?
Oh, yeah. I think the Dusan Tadic and the Sofiane Boufal, I think they're just players that weren't really doing enough for them. The Tadic was a good player for them for years, but I think they kind of just moved on from him. And Sofiane Boufal, remember, he had one of those pitch-to-pitch goals last year that was a contender for goal of the season.
Yeah.
What else did he do all year? I think that's why he's not at the club. Exactly. So I think Southampton are going to stay up. I like him. And I think as long as Charlie Austin stays healthy, that man can put the ball in the back of the net. And with him and Long up front, Long not so much, but Austin I like a lot, and he's a goal scorer. If he just stays healthy, they have a good shot of staying up. And I also like the Mark Hughes signing. I know a lot of people, he kept him up last year barely. Not the most sexiest name out there, but he knows how to scrap through and win over the course of a long year. So
I completely disagree. Sorry. Southampton has been circling the drain. This is the year that they finally give way to gravity and get pulled out with all the rubbish. I really don't see. Yes, they have some good players. I just don't see the gigantic open defense being able to do very much. There's what's really going on in the midfield. There's very little. So I think they either stay where they are or get relegated, but I think they'll get relegated, to be honest.
I think you can sum up their next season as and I think they go down low and
negative
stay
on
there.
Southampton.
I think they go low and stay
So
there.
negative.
Yep.
James Ward-Prowse, I do like in the midfield there, and I think he'll really come good this year, which is another reason that I think they'll have a better year. I think they'll stay up. I'm not saying they're going to do great, but I think they'll have a bit better year.
Well, this brings us to 18-19-20, where Swansea City, Stoke City, West Brom all relegated. And now we get to talk about our newly promoted teams that we
This
get
is always
to
such a
know
fun
this year.
time.
There's some good ones coming up.
Yeah, and some folks that it's been a bit since they've been in the Premier League, and this is a fun collection. Last year was a fun collection of promoted clubs. We have another one this year, so we want to kick these so we can let Ron take over the history lessons as he's put things together. So
Yeah, do you want me to cover the first and third one?
Yep.
Cool. Wolverhampton Wanderers FC finished first in the championship on 99 points, earning automatic promotion.
Great
What a
season
year.
for Wolverhampton.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
What a year they had last year. What a year. And if I remember correctly, the year before that, they were like kind of bottom of the championship. So very good year for them. Nuno Espirito Santo, great name. Also, name of a lot of churches
Their
across
manager,
the
yep.
United States of America. Notable ends, Benik Afobe, we mentioned earlier from Bournemouth. I think it's a good signing. Raul Jimenez from Benfica. Raul Patricio from Sporting. Diego Jota from Atletico Madrid. Johnny from Atletico Madrid. And Joao Matinho from Monaco. And 3 others. Some really good signings there. Some really good depth. You see some Spanish players in there. If they can gel, I think they'd be okay.
These signings are a we're not trying to stay in the Premier League. We're trying to come in swinging.
Yes. Now,
Yeah.
the counter to that is there was 24 players that they released or are now out of the club. 12 released, 6 sent out on loan. That much changeover sometimes has that negative effect that is brings a team down, and the team ethos there can really hinder that.
I would say look for a rough start and see where they go.
Yeah, it's kind of, you can really kind of tell where they're at in that November, December time of year when they get into the thick of the season, if that team's gelling or if too many changes is not going to work.
But Santo's a pretty solid manager.
Yeah,
I think he's going to have a team that is full of heart and a team that is got a lot of energy. So I think it's going to be a fun time to watch them this year. This is my opinion.
Yeah, take it away, Ron.
Yeah. So we've got Ron is educating us all a little bit on each of the newly promoted clubs, just for those of you tuning in.
So Wolverhampton Wanderers Football Club, nicknamed the Wolves or the Wanderers, founded 1877.
A long time ago.
For those of you doing the math, it's 141 years ago. That is super cool that we have teams playing that are 141 years old. However, they weren't the Wolverhampton Wanderers at the time. They were St. Luke's FC.
With Spirit of Santo.
Their home ground is the Molineux Stadium, capacity of 31,700. The owner of the team is actually an investment company out of Hong Kong, Fosun International. The head coach, Espirito Santo, is a former goalkeeper, Portuguese descent. Some cool history about this club since they've been around 141 years. The Wolves are one of the founding members of modern football. In 1888, they are a founding member of the Football League, which was essentially the first one. And apart from 6 seasons,
That's awesome.
Yeah, apart from 6 seasons, the team is always played within the top 2 tiers of English football. So that's a pretty good.
Yeah.
Whatever the top 2 teams or top 2 leagues were in the country, they had played.
That's cool.
That's very cool.
They have been champions of England 3 times, all during the 1950s under Stan Kulis, and they've been runner-up 5 times. They've won the FA Cup 4 times, and most recently they did that in 1960. They've been runners-up 4 times, and they've won the Football League Cup twice, 1974 and 1980. They were an English professional football club based in the city of Wolverhampton in the West Midlands. So they were, like I said earlier, originally known as St. Luke's FC. They got their home ground, Molineux Stadium, in 1889. So it's pretty cool that name has stuck all the way till now. The team has won the EFL Championship last season, so they'll compete in the Premier League this season. Here's another cool bit of history. In 1950, the Wolves were one of the first clubs to install floodlighting in their home ground, and by taking part in televised, quote, floodlit friendlies against leading overseas teams, and played an instrumental role in the creation of the European Cup.
That's awesome.
Huh.
That's a lot of history.
Yeah, they're a richly steeped in history.
Also, Sweet Crest.
Yeah. The Wolves have long-standing rivalries with other West Midlands club, but their main one has always been, any guesses, Blake or Ferris?
I'm sorry, their main
Nottingham?
ground?
No. Their
main,
long-standing rivalries.
Oh,
Their
gotcha.
biggest one is another West Midlands club. Who is it? They're only 11 miles apart.
Oh, I don't know.
Middlesbrough?
Nope. West Bromwich Albion.
West Brom.
Yep. In a contest they call
W's.
the Black County Derby.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I remember that from a few years back when they were in the Premier League.
So when the club was actually St. Luke's, they were the colors of red and white. These were superseded by the Wolves' traditional gold shirts and black shorts, which is what they'll play in now or this year. A fun team to watch. We're gonna see some cool football out of these guys. But that's your familiarity with the club now.
Awesome.
Little history lesson.
Love it.
Well, moving on to Cardiff City. Finished second in the championship on 90 points, earning automatic promotion. Manager Neil Warnock. Notable ends Josh Murphy from Norwich, Greg Cunningham, Preston North End, Alex Smithies from QPR, and Bobby Reed from Bristol City.
Bobby!
Notable outs, just 3, 2 released. So not the cleaning house that Wolverhampton did. Yeah, and so now we take it over to Ron.
The history correspondent. Cardiff City. So Cardiff City Football Club. Nicknames the Bluebirds, or CAR, or CCFC, or City. That's what everyone calls it. Founded 1899. So for those of you doing the math at home, 119 years. However, they weren't Cardiff City then. They were Riverside AFC.
That's a cool name.
Yeah. Cardiff City Stadium is their home ground. The capacity is 33,280. Their owner is Vincent Tan, who is a Malaysian businessman and billionaire.
Has had a rocky time there.
Yes. Yeah. His time there has not been without controversy. Their manager, Neil Warnock, holds a record for the most promotions in English football.
It's good to have him back in the Premier League.
How many?
Most promotions?
Most promotions. How many?
11.
9.
8.
Ooh.
Super close.
What's the whole?
So,
It was the beer.
that's the excuse of the pod, is the beer. They were founded in 1899 as Riverside AAFC. The club changed its name to Cardiff City in 1908 when they joined the English Football League system. And they competed in the Southern Football League in 1910 before joining the actual Football League in the 1920s. They are the only club from outside England to have won the FA Cup. And they did that in 1927.
That's pretty cool.
That's
In a while.
Because
That's
they're in Wales.
Correct. Since 1908, the club's home colors have always been blue and white, leading to the nickname of the Bluebirds. They have long-standing rivalries with nearby clubs Swansea, and that is the South Wales Derby.
Yeah, they got
Which
to go
we won't see this year.
to Swansea on the way up, and Swansea went down. Yeah.
Yep. Another long-standing rivalry is Bristol City, and that's the Severinside Derby. So they're a pretty fun club. I think they'll be fun to watch too.
I think they're going to struggle. I think you could see them go back down, unfortunately.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
I
Absolutely.
have mixed feelings on that one.
Yeah, we'll see. I just I don't know, but I think they're going to struggle.
That's back to you, Ferris.
Back to me and a team that I really like and glad they're back in the Premier League. Fulham FC. And Matt in Atlanta getting ready to move to Portland. Thank you for the beer on the bet that we had on who's coming up, either Villa or Fulham, because Fulham did in the championship playoff promotions. They finished the year in the championship on 88 points. Their manager is
Jakonovic. It's yeah, hold on.
Slovenian.
I got you.
Thank you.
Slavica Jakonovic,
Very well done.
I believe.
Sounds good to me. A lot better than I could do. I just trailed off there. Notable ends. Some doozies here that just kind of rocked the football and Premier League world here a little bit. John Michael Siri from Nice. Maxime Le Marchand from Nice. 2 very good signings, both of which broke their club record fees. Siri was about £25 million and Marchand was about £30 million. 2 very good signings there, and that's kind of starting to build a core for them. Fabry from Besiktas, Andres Schula back in the Premier League.
I'm so happy to see him back.
Yeah,
he used to be on Chelsea.
Yeah, and then he went to Dortmund, and now he's back for Fulham.
I'm so happy he's back.
They re-signed, kind of not re-signed, but back to them, Alexander Mitrovic, who's always done very, very well from them. Big, strong striker. And then one that just happened this week, which is another very good signing, and is going to fit perfectly back there with Marchand. Alfie Mosen from Swansea City, good young defender. That was probably Swansea's best player last year. So some sneaky, well, not really sneaky because I can't
Just
say that.
Ballsy signings.
But
Can't say
again,
that, but some
if
good
you're
signings
Bournemouth,
from them.
Brighton, Southampton, these signings from this newly promoted club just worry you.
Yeah, absolutely. Only outs are David Booten to Brighton and Ryan Fredericks to West Ham. and then 3 others, 2 of which are only on loan. So I think some really good moves from Fulham. They were fun to watch last year. They have, which is one of the players of the year last year from them. That is a upcoming England possible international, and you could see him in the senior team very soon. Ryan Sessegnon can play at midfield, can also play at any of the wing backs there. They held on to him, and I think they're going to do good this year. But Ron, I'll pass it off to you.
Fulham FC, Fulham Football Club, nicknamed the Cottagers, the Whites, or the Lily Whites, founded
Lily White.
1879. So if you're doing the math at home, 139 years ago. But they were St. Andrew's Cricket and Football Club.
Cool.
Yeah. Their ground is Craven Cottage, and the capacity of that is 25,700.
So glad it's back in the Premier League.
Yeah.
Right there along the Thames.
Yep.
Small little.
Yeah. Their owner, Sahid Khan. Anyone else know what he's famous for?
Jags.
Yeah, he owns the Jacksonville Jaguars in the National Football League. Their manager, who Blake is going to pronounce.
Oh, sorry. On it right now, Slavisa Jokonovic.
Is a midfielder, a defensive midfielder for many clubs, and he's known for his ups, meaning that man's got some jump. The club has spent 25 seasons in English football's top divisions. The majority of these 2 spells were during the 1960s and the early 2000s. Fulham have never won a major honor, although they have reached 2 major finals. In 1975, as the second division team, they contested for the FA Cup final for the only time in their history, and they lost 2-0 to West Ham United. And in 2010, they reached the UEFA Europa League final, which they fought bravely against Atletico Madrid and lost 2-1.
And that's when they had old Clint Dempsey playing for them. That was a fantastic year for them.
Yep.
Back when he was just middle-aged Clint Dempsey.
But still looked like 60.
That's true. Angry and 60. Yeah.
He's most likely to get a face tattoo.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fulham was formed in 1879 as Fulham's St. Andrew Church Sunday School FC. That's quite the name to put on a scoreboard.
That's a mouthful.
Founded by worshippers at the Church of England on Star Road in West Kensington. Fulham's mother church still stands today with a plaque commemorating the team's foundation. So you can go check that out in West Kensington on Star Road. They won the West London Amateur Cup in 1887 and have shortened the name to Fulham Excelsior. Then
that's what Stan Lee says. Excelsior.
Yeah. They did that in 1888, and then they started just trimming it down to Fulham FC. They won the West London League in 1893 on their first attempt, which is pretty much all they've got going for them in the recent history. Their colors are black and white, and they're going to be a solid team this season.
Agreed.
A lot of fans. I mean, if you're walking around the States and one of the most likely out of, like, below the Premier League division shirts you would see would be Fulham shirts.
Well,
yeah, we see them everywhere. You got one.
I do. I absolutely do.
Game, our
beautiful game.
Yeah.
First season on
Fantasy.
Fantasy,
That's what
yeah.
I was trying to say.
Which one? My second season one hasn't come through yet.
I'm
not really asking. But no, you're going to see me wearing that quite a bit this year because I do like the Fulhams.
The Lily Whites.
The Lily White.
So as we move into wrap us up, we move into a little prediction time.
Predictions for the upcoming Premier League season.
And that Ferris always does such a wonderful job keeping track of that we forget about what we predicted until the final wrap-up game. It's like exciting. I'm like, I don't remember what it was, he said. So prediction time. Golden boot.
Ooh.
Dun, 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 dun.
I've got a golden boot. All right.
So Blake, you're first.
All right, man. I'm feeling strong. I'm feeling good. I like the new energy.
Love it.
Aubameyang. Woo!
Nice.
Ron?
I like Ferris is typing like he's reporting news.
I'll take it down on things so we don't forget. That's
I'm going to say against the rest of the team that this person happens to be on, he's going to score quite a bit, although it's not going to do very much to keep them in the top 4. Mr. Harry Kane.
It's very hard for me not to say Mohamed Salah, but
Blake, you stole mine because I was going to go with Aubameyang as well.
Really?
Yeah. No, I think he, I like him. I think he showed what he can do last year, and if he plays up there with Lacazette, I think he produces a lot and he scores. So I'm gonna be boring.
Aubameyang as well.
Yeah,
Man,
same thing,
Arsenal.
Same thing,
gold
man.
booters,
Yeah,
man.
see.
All right. That rolls us around to the first manager to get the sack.
Get the boot.
You're up.
I'm up. First manager to get the sack. That is a question. I mean, how can you not go with Watford's Javier Garcia? They change over managers like it's like toilet paper. I mean, they're it's Javi.
Yeah. So mine, I was the only one who got the correct one last season. And I agree with Ferris wholeheartedly. Watford are going to wipe Garcia right off the map, and he's gone. So I agree with you. Blake?
So you went 1-1.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I still think something's rotten in the state of Everton. I'm going to say Marco Silva. And it's not about him. It's about that front
Interesting.
office. It's about the culture that they're having issues with over there.
Silva. Not with Watford, with Everton. Yeah.
But right. But say
Was with
Watford. My third coach to get the sack.
Your third? You're skipping?
You're skipping somebody?
Jose Mourinho.
Jose Mourinho.
Yeah, I saw that one coming. So I knew exactly where it took me a second. Yeah, I knew.
3-5. That brings us to so our top three teams going down. Our three teams going down. Is to you, Ron?
Yeah.
In no particular order.
No particular order. Real easy. Watford. No brainer. Cardiff City.
Let's go Watford, and Watford.
Watford, Cardiff, Southampton. Have a good season. Enjoy it in the Premier League because it's your last.
Blake.
Gosh, I feel like I'd shake it up, but I was definitely going to say Cardiff.
They go.
I was definitely going to say Southampton. I think it's going to be Brighton, Hove, and Albion. I'll be a little different.
Brighton.
Wow.
Yeah, I think they're going to struggle a bit.
Wow. Yeah, I'm going to go Cardiff as well, which makes it all of us went with Cardiff. I think Wolves go down. I think that's a lot of changeover for
Oh, interesting.
a lot.
They don't catch up. All right.
I'll catch up. And then I will go with
Oh, this one's hurting you.
Yeah, I don't really see how you can't go with Watford. I was gonna say Huddersfield, but I like the thing that kept me from saying them is David Wagner. I think he's a big
Captain Picard.
and Captain Picard. Absolutely.
Who's going to make it so?
So
we got next?
that's all those. So now we have our Leicesterish prediction of the year. Is that back to you, Ferris? Back to you.
Fulham FC find themselves back in Europe.
Oh, that's a
Wow.
that's a Leicester prediction.
Wow.
I like Fulham a lot this year.
Mine will be Burnley in the top 10.
That's not a give me a break.
Being in Europa League, I think it's going to be very hard to do. These guys managed to pull off what they pulled off without being split. I think it's a hard thing to do.
Okay. Okay.
So Ferris kind of stole mine, but not entirely. I say Fulham get into the top 10.
Okay.
I don't think they go to Europe, but I think they're going to have a fantastic season, and it's going to put them in the top 10.
Okay.
So then that leads us to our top 4 teams in order, first to fourth.
By the way, that does point out how amazing the Leicester run was, because we've never actually predicted anything as amazing as that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You forget how amazing that run was to win, because none of our stuff is that level.
Right.
I mean, maybe Fulham to Europe.
They get into Europe, yeah.
That's pretty
ballsy.
Yeah,
That's the whole point of it, though, is to have a ballsy pick.
So top 4 in order, first to fourth, in the top of the Premier League. Blake, you're up.
That is going to be Liverpool, followed by Manchester City, followed by Chelsea, then Arsenal, because Man United ended up firing Jose Mourinho partway through and they have a collapse of a season.
Okay, you son of a bitch. Can you say that again so I can take it down?
He said Liverpool, Man City, Chelsea, Arsenal.
Yes.
That was Blake's pick. The funny thing is, Blake and I did not compare notes, but we are super close.
Okay, Ron.
So mine is Liverpool, take the spot. Man City, take the second.
Okay.
Arsenal, take third.
Wow.
Chelsea strugglingly beat out Man United to be in fourth place because Jose Mourinho is having match night somewhere else.
And I am saying Man U fifth, Tottenham sixth.
Well, that doesn't matter.
If we were going to go to the whole top six, but that's where I would roll with that.
So Liverpool, Man City, Arsenal, Chelsea. Your turn, Mr. Ferris.
Mine's going to surprise you guys. Arsenal win the Premier League 1 season removed from Arsene Wenger.
Sounds awesome and also heartbreaking. For Wenger. Oh.
Man City getting second. Man United getting third. And I thought Chelsea get in the top 4 and screw it. Chelsea make the top 4 again.
What was yours again?
Arsenal, Man City, Man United, Chelsea.
Left out Liverpool and Tottenham.
Yeah.
All right. None of us put Tottenham in there.
No.
And I don't think any of us did.
All of us made Man City second.
Yes, we did. You're absolutely right. Yep. I'm the only one that have United in there. Surprise, surprise.
I'm going to tell you, Man United until this past week was in my top 4. But the Jose stuff starting, I'm just going to follow my gut.
Well, he kind of said that, but all right.
I'm just saying that's where
I'm not anti Manchester City.
No.
I just think Jose Mourinho's 3-year curse. I mean, just look at his track record. The 3-year curse is following him for every single team.
Listen, I think I said earlier, I can't pinpoint what it is. I don't really know how I feel, but I just get that feeling that something, whether it's a good run in Champions League, they win the FA Cup, win the Premier League, something's going to happen to where it's going to be all of the that he just storms up and spews around and whatnot. He's going to survive the year, and at the end of it, people are going to look back and go, you know what? Had a pretty decent year, which is what happened this past year.
I'm actually
got second. We went to the finals in FA Cup, and we got bowed out of the Champions League a little early, but pretty decent year.
I'll agree with you on when he threw out the possibility of a Premier League run. I do feel like it's a boom or bust. Like Man United really does something great, or he is not their coach when the season's done. I do feel like it is kind of a boom or bust. Holy crap, guys! Another Premier League preview in the books.
Man, how long did that take?
Third in the row?
10 hours?
Second, because we did a wrap up and 2 previews. So it's our second preview.
Right. 2
hours. That's pretty good. Hey, the 2 Robbies, it was like an hour and a half.
It's a Premier League.
And they usually do like 30-minute episodes.
And they didn't review a whole beer.
Yeah, it was covering a whole beer. You're telling me.
God, my whole day tomorrow is me editing in beeps.
How many are there? Do you know?
Oh, it's
got to be more than 20.
It's all Ron's fault, though.
It's whatever.
You're the one that brought it in.
How can I not?
Guys, this is double-sided, my list.
How can I not? If a listener sends us beer, we owe it to them to review it.
Oh, I'm going to review it unless another butternut comes in.
My toilet's about to review it here in a little bit.
Man, you know what?
Yep.
Yeah.
I have no words.
Yep.
I got no words for that first beer. We hope you enjoyed this way more than we enjoyed that first beer from Butternut Brewery. The second one, the pale ale from what was
Very
it
good.
From Mount Begbie Brewing.
Ooh, that was
Revelstoke, British Columbia.
That was great.
Tasty. And thank you. It was another listener.
Listener from Canada.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you.
That's 2 listener beers. And Amanda, thank you for the entertainment of your terrible beer.
Yeah.
But if you tell me that you drink that for fun,
wow,
that's a lie.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lie.
Wow.
I know you're lying. I'm gonna fly up and watch you drink one.
Yeah.
You can't make a. You gotta
of one of the ones she gave us.
Yes. Well, yeah.
A year-old freaking beer.
Quick update on the pod. We have our Netflix show. What's it called?
Mrs. Megan's Pie Shop.
We've joked around about in the past. For those of you who listen, about us creating like our weird British mob show starring Premier League players. Where does Mrs. Megan's Pie Shop come from?
Where does it come
Yeah.
from? Mrs. Miggin's Pie Shop comes from Blackadder.
I had forgotten that. For you nerds out there, maybe you do or do not. The BBC show Blackadder, specifically the second season
Renaissance
in
one.
1986, where it's set in Elizabethan England. My wife and I have been like going to sleep watching them, rewatching. So we watched all the medieval Blackadder.
Right.
It goes to the second season. And when Rowan Atkinson walks out on screen and someone says, I don't know, why don't you go? Mrs. Miggins is making, in a pie shop, is making human faces on pies. Like, wait, did he just say Mrs. Miggins pie?
Yeah,
Is
and the
that
way
where
he's-
Mrs. Miggins pie shop came from?
Yeah.
And I had no idea it was a Blackadder reference.
Yep. And
Yeah.
and the way he says it is brilliant. Mrs. Miggin's Pie Shop.
The best line in that show that I peed my pants in
Yeah.
is his delivery of that person asking him to guess something. And he says, well, let me just take a quick
Wild
wild stab in the dark, which coincidentally is what you're going to receive if you don't.
Become a bit more helpful. Yeah.
Rowan Atkinson. I love it. But I just was very excited to discover that Mrs. Miggin's Pie Shop, we don't cross over with Blackadder. So
Yeah.
that means Rowan Atkinson has to appear on our show somewhere.
Yes.
Somewhere.
Sold.
Yeah.
Without question.
So, follow us on the social medias. You can, the easiest place to go to our website, thebrutalfulgame.com, where you can find all our social media, but we're on Twitter at Brutalfulgame. We are on Instagram at The Brutalful Game or at Brutalful Game. Ferris has forgotten. Search for The Brutalful Game.
At the Brutalful Game.
At The Brutalful Game.
I think there's an underscore too in there too.
Go to Facebook, search for The Brutalful Game there as well. Untapped, a great place that we can share beers. I'm gonna share this We're gonna share the Snapperhead on here.
Sure.
I don't know what the comment's gonna be. Just like an emoji shaking its head or something. I don't know.
Just the vomitous one.
Yeah. Wooey. Oh, does that get us all? Is that all of ours? I think it is. Yeah. If you do us a favor and leave us a review on iTunes or Apple Podcast, as well as Stitcher or anywhere else you might listen to us, Podcast Addict, whatever. Leave us a review and a rating. Take a screenshot of it. Get it to us. We'll make sure to get you a magnet or a koozie or something in the mail. Clark, if you're listening, we got yours out in the mail. Should be arriving soon.
Yeah, if it's not there already. It went
yeah.
out last week.
So we hope you got that. And I think that about wraps us up, right, gents?
Yeah, excited for the Premier League to be back.
Oh my God.
A week from today.
Well,
6
A
days.
tradition that we had forgotten for a while. We're starting off the Premier League. We were ending the episodes from the book that Ron gave me. Was it Ron? Yeah, of dad jokes. So here you go. Your moment of dad joke, where I just randomly grab one. Here we go. What did the dad say when the car park attendant told me he had to move his car because it was badge holders only?
What?
Hmm?
But I have got a bad shoulder. It's not a very good one.
That was f***ing terrible. That was as bad as the beer.
I don't even have any words. Don't even have any words. Nothing.
You don't have no words?
Got nothing.
I got this. That was
Of
I
course
can't
you
end it on that one. What did the man who sent his girlfriend a huge pile of snow ask her?
Hmm?
Did you get my drift?
That was so lame.
That was a good one.
That was a good one. I'll give you that
I
one.
got Ferris's laugh.
Stupid.
The best
Perfect.
is the Ferris laugh with the eye roll.
Yeah, I rolled
So
in
perfect.
this. So stupid. All right, gents, raise those glasses. Love the beer, cherish the game, the Brutalful Game.
Butternuts.